Listen to me, with everything in you. This is not just another message. This is your moment of divine interception. I told you it was coming. I warned you in whispers, in dreams, in moments you almost missed. And now, it's here. What I've been preparing, aligning, and protecting for you is breaking open right now. But you must stay. You must watch every second with your spirit wide awake, because buried in these words are your confirmations, your instructions, your release. This isn't entertainment. It's a dispatch from the throne room. And what you do with this moment will shape what unfolds next. Don't scroll. Don't pause. Don't move until I finish speaking. Because by the end of this message you'll know I wasn't just talking, I was delivering. And I would say it again. Open it. Right now. Stop what you're doing, my precious one. Still your thoughts, silence the noise, and come into the sanctuary of my presence. This moment was written into your timeline long before you knew how to recognize my voice. I'm not merely suggesting that you pause. I am summoning your spirit with urgency, with clarity, with the full force of divine intention. I have something sacred to say, something that must be received with undivided focus, because what I am releasing now cannot be delayed another heartbeat. You have wondered if the stirrings inside you were simply emotions, if the longing in your spirit was just restlessness, but I assure you, it is none of those things. What you are feeling is the sound of eternity breaking into your now. I am not whispering to you from afar. I am standing in the middle of your atmosphere, and I am declaring with divine finality, what I promised is no longer in waiting. It is arriving. This is not imagination. This is not coincidence. This is divine interruption, sacred collision. You are not simply sensing change. You are standing inside the unfolding of a decree that has been sealed in the archives of heaven. The time for hints has ended. The hour for parables has passed. I'm speaking with unmistakable clarity because I cannot and will not let this moment pass you by. I have watched you walk through foggy seasons, when your heart was full of questions and your hands were empty of answers. I have seen you choose to trust me when the heavens felt sealed and the earth gave you no confirmation. I know the ache of your waiting. I know the weight of your wondering. But child, hear me clearly now. I was never absent. I was orchestrating something so intentional, so precise, that even your deepest despair could not cancel it. And now, the seal is broken. The announcement is being made. The spotlight of heaven has turned toward you, not because you demanded it, but because you were faithful when it was quiet. You must understand, this is not a vague nudge or a gentle prompting. This is not a flicker of encouragement or a spiritual suggestion. This is the announcement, the one your heart has groaned for, the one your tears have watered, the one your spirit has carried in silence when words failed you. I am not speaking generally. I am not casting a wide net. I am speaking directly, intimately, and deliberately to you. You are the reason the heavens have paused. You are the one I have chosen to whisper this to in secret before the world sees it unfold in public. What I am saying is too holy to be mixed with distractions. That's why I've called you away, pulled you aside, and stirred your inner atmosphere until you could no longer ignore it. This is me, child, not just encouraging you, but summoning you to attention because the hour of fulfillment is not near. It is now. I've seen the battles you fought that no one applauded. I've seen you show up for life when your soul wanted to disappear. I was there when you smiled through suffocating seasons, when you gave while running on empty, when you loved through heartbreak and believed through breakdowns. Every moment you remained faithful was noted by heaven. Your obedience has built an altar, and upon that altar I am now pouring out the oil of manifestation. You are not being overlooked. You are being targeted by my goodness, by my justice, by my unshakable remembrance of the things you did when you thought I wasn't watching. But I was watching. I was recording. And now I am responding. Not tomorrow. Not someday. Now. Because this announcement cannot be postponed. What's coming is not fragile. It's not partial. It's not conditional. It's sealed with my name and sent with my power. So breathe deep. Still your spirit. Open your soul wide to receive this, not as a possibility, but as a proclamation. You don't need to strive to earn it. You don't need to beg to deserve it. You only need to listen and believe. This isn't hope from a distance. It's the sound of heaven drawing near. I told you I would come. And now, I'm here. Yes, child, that unrest you've been feeling in your spirit, that holy unease pressing against your chest in quiet moments, it was never anxiety. It was alignment. It was the signal of spiritual winds beginning to shift, the current of my promise drawing near, the atmosphere rearranging itself to make room for the miraculous. You thought you were just tired, just worn, just overwhelmed. But no, what you've been experiencing is the tension before transformation, the quaking of heaven breaking through the crust of what was comfortable. I stirred your surroundings with divine dissonance to wake you from resignation. You weren't made to settle into numbness. You weren't created to adapt to delay. You were designed to discern the moment when eternity touches time. And child, this is that moment. This is the divine intersection where all that has been promised begins to press forward. You're not imagining it. The winds have changed. The silence is shattering. The sky above you has split wide open with destiny. I warned you it was coming. I whispered it in the still places when no one else believed you. I stirred the air around you with a charge that could not be explained. Even nature responded. The timing of things shifted. The rhythm of your days changed. Sleep became elusive not because of stress but because of stirring. The clock struck something different in your spirit, and you couldn't go back to normal. That was me. I was rousing your discernment to recognize the hour. I wasn't being mysterious. I was being merciful, awakening your senses so you wouldn't sleep through what is sacred. My child, heaven never moves quietly when the moment arrives. You've heard thunder in your chest. You've seen signs that defy coincidence. You've watched doors swing open and others slam shut with no explanation. Don't misread the movement. This isn't chaos. This is choreography. The shift isn't subtle. It's strategic. I've been removing, replacing, routing, refining everything around you so that nothing interferes with what I'm about to deliver. The moment I warned you about isn't approaching. It's arrived. You've stepped into it even if you don't yet fully recognize its weight. You are breathing in air charged with fulfillment. The atmosphere is pregnant with divine convergence. I have waited for your spirit to be strong enough to carry what's now unfolding. I didn't come to drop blessings randomly. I came to launch something irreversible. And child, hear me. This moment is not just about change. It's about completion. What I started in you long ago, the dreams you buried, the words you forgot, the promises you feared would expire, they are now being resurrected with power. This is not a season of mild encouragement. This is a season of massive fulfillment. Everything has shifted. Every delay has turned into delivery. What used to resist you will now recognize you. The ground beneath your feet will respond to the sound of my voice in you. You wanted to force it. It will flow. You went in for this, you right for this, voted for this. You didn't break, even when everything around you said you should. You did run when others fled. You held your position when the enemy tried to intimidate you. And I took note of every trembling yes. That's why this moment is holy. Because you didn't just survive. You stood. And now the ground you stood on in faith is becoming the stage where my glory will unfold. You are not late. You are not behind. You are right on time, my time. The time I marked long before you were born. The time that heaven knew would arrive, even when you feared it never would. You are not chasing the blessing. The blessing is colliding with you. This is the appointed hour. This is the manifestation moment. This is it. Child, I know the weight you carried in the waiting. I saw how the silence hollowed out places in you that once pulsed with hope. I watched the calendar pages turn while your heart kept asking, why not yet? I know how delay twisted your sense of timing, made you question my goodness, and tempted you to believe I had forgotten you. But hear me now with every fiber of your spirit. None of it was wasted. Not 1 second of your waiting was random. Not one unanswered prayer was neglected. Not one tear you cried in the middle of the night vanished into nothing. Every ache, every delay, every moment you misunderstood was preparation, not punishment. I was not ignoring you. I was equipping you. I wasn't being silent to torture you. I was strategically building capacity in your soul to hold the weight of what's coming now. You see, what I have prepared for you requires depth. It demands endurance. It needs someone who knows how to trust me when there's no applause, no confirmation, and no guarantee. And you, my faithful one, passed the hidden tests that others failed. You stayed soft when life tried to harden you. You remained hopeful when others became cynical. You showed up to prayer when your voice trembled, and still you whispered my name. Those moments, those seemingly small, private acts of faith, were giant shifts in the spirit realm. They were your offering, and I received them like incense rising to my throne. I bottled every tear. I've recorded every surrender. I've marked every sacrifice that came without recognition. And now, child, I am responding in kind. I am not just blessing you. I am unveiling you. Yes, this is an unveiling, not of some generic favor or recycled breakthrough. This is the unveiling of you, the true you, the version I've been carving in the shadows, the you that was being shaped while the world passed by, the you that I hid in my hand, away from distractions, away from counterfeit crowns, away from shallow stages. I wasn't delaying to tease you. I was developing you so thoroughly that nothing would be able to stop what I placed inside you. The silence taught you to hear me more clearly. The delays taught you to wait without compromise. The crushing taught you to carry glory without pride. And now, beloved, the curtain is being pulled back. The light is about to hit the places you thought would never bloom. And all that had been hidden is being brought into the open. Not for applause, but for purpose. I warned you this moment would come. I whispered it when no one else saw you. And now I am shouting it in the spirit realm. You're ready. What others mistook as a setback, I called setup. What looked like failure, and I called formation. Every time you whispered, Lord, I trust you, I was answering, child, I'm making you ready. And now the readiness is complete. Now the foundation is fortified. Now the unveiling can begin. Not just of gifts, but of glory. Not just of promises, but of power. What I am releasing isn't just what you prayed for. It's more. It's greater. It's heavier. And you can carry it because you've been formed in fire. So don't flinch. Don't resist. Don't explain away this moment. Receive it. Embrace it. Because this unveiling is your unveiling. The time has come. The curtain is rising. I need you to hear me clearly, child. Not as a distant whisper, not as a metaphor, but as a divine declaration from the throne of grace. This is not a season of suggestion. This is the moment of manifestation. I am not nudging your heart gently this time. I am thundering into your spirit with clarity. It's open now. The door you kept knocking on with trembling hands, the dream you kept alive with hope when evidence was nowhere to be seen, the promise you held in your chest like a fragile flame, it has been unlocked. Not by accident, not by effort, but by my authority. I, the Lord your God, have spoken, and what I speak cannot be revoked. I do not make announcements lightly. When I declare, it is already done. Heaven doesn't operate in possibilities. Heaven operates in fulfillment. I am not forecasting. I am releasing. You've waited so long that your heart started rehearsing disappointment just to survive the days. You kept telling yourself, maybe not now, maybe someday, just to shield your soul from another blow. But I never called you to brace for pain. I called you to believe for promise. And now I am telling you without delay, without ambiguity, without needing your permission, the gate has opened. The ground has shifted. Way has been cleared. You don't have to pry it open. You don't have to perform for it. You don't have to prove anything to earn it. This isn't about merit. This is about my mercy. It's about my perfect timing meeting your persevering faith. I'm not knocking at the door. I'm the one who opened it from the inside out. What once felt bolted by delay has been blasted wide by destiny. I want you to sit with this truth until it silences every lie that delay whispered to your soul. It's open now. Not tomorrow. Not in the future when you're more ready or more polished. Not in some distant season that fits better with your logic. No, child, this is the moment. The movement has begun. The shift has activated. And you are already inside the current of what I'm unfolding. Do not measure this moment by what your eyes can see yet. The natural realm is always the last to catch up with the spiritual reality. But I need your spirit to believe it before your senses confirm it. Because belief is the soil where manifestation blooms. You are no longer on the outside, hoping for entry. You are inside the moment I crafted with your name etched into its core. You are standing on the other side of someday. This isn't a partial opening. This is a divine unveiling. This isn't a teaser of blessing. It's the arrival of fulfillment. I've opened access to places your heart dared to dream but your hands never thought they'd touch. And I will not allow fear to sabotage what faith made possible. To walk boldly, step freely. The invitation has been issued in blood. The path has been paved in grace. And the door swings not just with opportunity, but with ordination. I didn't just give you a key. I am the key. And I have slammed the door open wide with my own hand. So don't wait for another sign. This is the sign. Don't stall out of habit. Don't delay out of fear. Don't question what I've made unmistakably clear. It's open now. And what's been opened by heaven can never be closed by hell. The time of concealment is over, beloved. The sealed scrolls of your story are being unrolled, and the chapters you thought had been lost to time are being read aloud in the courts of heaven. You felt forgotten, but you were sealed for sacred timing. The dreams you wrapped in silence and stored on the shelf of resignation were never abandoned. I placed my fingerprint on them and kept them in divine reserve, not as an afterthought, but as a first fruit preserved in waiting. And now, in this holy hour, I am breaking open what was sealed. You will begin to see doors open without warning, alignments appear without explanation, and answers arrive without needing effort. You didn't miss it. You didn't lose it. You were being positioned for precise release. And now the seal has snapped. The weight has shifted. The flow has begun. Yes, I'm breaking open what was buried. I'm uncovering what was hidden under layers of fear, failure, and false conclusions. The truths you once couldn't handle are now coming into view with blinding clarity. You'll see why I didn't answer then. You'll understand why I delayed what you begged for. The revelation won't just comfort, it will transform. I'm not just revealing outcomes, I'm unveiling identity. I'm showing you not only what I've prepared for you, but who you've become in the process. The crushing wasn't to destroy you. It was to refine the container of your calling. The sealing wasn't rejection. It was protection, so no one could tamper with what was only meant for you. But now the hidden oil is flowing. The hidden favor is surfacing. The hidden glory is rising. And child, it cannot be stopped. What was denied is now being delivered. Not in portions, not in pieces, but in fullness and force. I am not sending trickles of restoration. I am unleashing a torrent of recompense. You've sown in silence, and now you will reap in sight. I've heard every no that was spoken over you. I've watched every door that slammed in your face. I saw every table you weren't invited to, every opportunity withheld. And I did not forget. I stored it. I stacked it. I multiplied it in the quiet until the right moment. And now, child, the delivery has begun. You begin to receive what seemed impossible, without chasing, without striving, without struggling. Because favor runs faster than effort, and I'd unleashed favor on your behalf. What men call denied, I have declared delivered. And when I deliver, it carries power. I want you to understand, this is not a normal shift. This is a divine break-open moment. The vaults of heaven have been unlocked. The seals of delay have been broken. The resistance of the enemy hath been shattered. And what I am pouring out cannot be intercepted. It is unstoppable, irrefutable, irreversible. I didn't send a messenger. I came myself to deliver what no man could give and no enemy could steal. So look around, child. The wind has changed. The air has shifted. The ground beneath your feet is rumbling with release. And this is only the beginning. The scrolls are still being opened. The seals are still breaking. The favor is still flowing. What was hidden has now been heralded. What was delayed is now deployed. And what was sealed is now sent, with supernatural acceleration. Get ready. This delivery doesn't knock. It breaks in. You've spent years feeling like you were almost there, so close to breakthrough, yet always on the outer edge of what you believed for. You've watched others cross thresholds you were promised. You stood at the edge of blessing with your hands open and heart stretched, wondering, when will it be my turn? But today, I declare this truth over you. You are not standing on the edge of possibility anymore. You stepped into the very center of fulfillment. What you once glimpsed through tear-stained faith is now forming around you with divine clarity. You are not on the outskirts looking in. You are in the heart of what I've been building. And this moment, beloved, is not random. It is rehearsed by heaven. I've counted every beat of your heart. I've timed every breath. I've orchestrated this unveiling down to the finest detail because this moment was always yours. Let me tell you what you couldn't see while you were waiting. Angels have been in rehearsal for this hour. The very atmosphere you live in hath been saturated with the vibration of my promise approaching. While you felt stuck, I was staging a scene you could not imagine. I had my hands on everything, aligning voices, preparing connections, setting the stage, quieting the noise, pruning the places, so that when this moment came, nothing would interfere. I've watched over this hour like a gardener over sacred seed. I let it rest. I let it root. And now I've let it rise. You're not hoping anymore. You're holding. You're not wondering if it will happen. You're walking in the wake of it already beginning. I know it doesn't look how you expected. I know it feels unfamiliar. But fulfillment rarely wears the outfit you imagined. That's because I don't fulfill dreams according to human patterns. I exceed them with divine precision. You asked me for a sign, and I'm telling you plainly, this is it. The strange peace you felt. That's me wrapping fulfillment around your bones. The sudden joy that surged through you with no cause. That's the evidence of promises materializing in the background. You thought you were waiting for the right condition, but I was waiting for the right alignment. And now, child, all things are aligned. You don't have to chase the moment. The moment has chased you. You don't need to beg for entry. The door has already been opened, and I've been waiting inside, holding everything I ever whispered to you. Don't treat this like another encouragement. This is a divine announcement. You are in it. You are standing inside the manifestation of what you prayed through tears for. Don't miss it because you're still looking for fireworks. Fulfillment doesn't always explode. It settles deeply into the places you once thought would remain empty forever. This is heaven's answer to your secret hope. The moment that looked far away is now folded into your today. The prophecies I spoke over your life, long before you knew what they meant, are now standing at attention, saluting the one who didn't give up. You didn't quit. You didn't walk away. You didn't let bitterness win. And now the heavens have shifted to honor that persistence. You are not standing near breakthrough. You're enveloped by it. So breathe it in. Feel the shift. Let your soul catch up with what your spirit already knows. This is the center of fulfillment, and all of heaven is rejoicing because you've arrived in the hour I prepared for you alone. Child, I saw every moment you wrestled with time, each hour that passed with no answer, every delay that felt like denial. I heard the questions that never made it past your lips. Did I miss it? Did I mishear? Why does it seem like everything is happening for everyone else but me? These weren't whispers of doubt. I know your heart. They were groans of a soul trying to survive under the weight of divine waiting. And I was there. In the silence, in the shadow, in the pause. I was closer than your breath. You thought the delay meant I forgot. But I say to you now with fire in my voice, I never lost track. Not for 1 second. Not for one breath. Not for one heartbeat. While you were sitting in stillness, I was engineering a masterpiece behind the veil. While you were walking through what felt like nothing, I was building something you couldn't have held if I gave it too soon. I was moving people into position. I was uprooting the wrong ones and planting the right ones. I was folding time, routing resources, cleansing spaces, reordering atmospheres. You couldn't see it, but child, the silence was strategy. I was never idle. I was intricately involved. Heaven is not a clock ticking toward your panic. It is a blueprint unfolding with holy timing. Every second I delayed was a layer of mercy. You would have settled for good enough, but I wanted perfect alignment. Now, the curtain is lifting. You will begin to see what I was doing when it looked like I was doing nothing. This is not just revelation. It's restoration of your faith in my timing. I'm showing you that I was never behind. The detours were divine. The pauses were precise. And the long nights you survived were not wasted. They built the muscle to carry what's now being handed to you. What others got quickly, you will hold deeply. Because what you're about to walk in isn't a moment. It's a movement I've been building through you. Don't rush past this unveiling. Let it hit you fully. Let it soothe the ache of every why. You've whispered in frustration. I heard everyone. And I kept working while you kept wondering. You questioned the timing. But child, I was the timing. And I timed this unveiling to land when you least expected but most needed it. You've matured now. You're not just hungry for answers, you're ready for assignment. That's why the curtain is lifting. Because the one who questioned me is now the one I trust to carry my clarity. This is not just a new season, it's a new vision. You'll begin to recognize what once confused you, and in that recognition, you'll find peace, not just purpose. So exhale the weight of delay. Let go of the torment of too late. You are not behind. You are right on divine time. And now that the curtain is rising, you'll see, every delay was part of my design. Oh my beloved, listen closely, because what I'm about to say must land deeper than your memory. You've wondered if the things I whispered to your heart so long ago were merely moments of emotion, or fleeting dreams dressed up as faith. You've questioned whether you misheard me, whether the delay was proof that the promise had expired like bread left too long on the shelf. But I need you to hear me now with holy certainty. I never forgot what I told you. Not for a second, not for a breath, not for a single rotation of this earth. What I spoke into your spirit, I sealed with my nature. And I am not a man that I should lie. I am not subject to decay, and neither is my word. It has not rotted in the soil of time. It has not weakened in the furnace of delay. It has been maturing in silence. You see, child, while you thought I was doing nothing, I was doing something that only I could do. I was preparing the fruit of my word in the hidden places of your life. Just like a seed deep beneath the dirt, my promises were taking root in places you couldn't perceive. While the world looked at your life and saw nothing but stillness, I saw holy pressure forming divine potential. I buried what I spoke so deeply within you that even the storms couldn't reach it. Even your doubts couldn't rot it. Even your disappointment couldn't drown it. And now, in this sacred hour, that word is bursting forth, not randomly, but right on time. Not with a whisper, but with a holy eruption. What you thought had died was actually ripening in secret. What you assumed had faded was being fortified in silence. There is something powerful about a word that's been held back, not because it was denied, but because it was being designed. Designed to break every pattern of despair. Designed to dismantle every lie spoken against you. Designed to arrive precisely when your heart is ready to hold it. I've waited to unleash this not because you were unworthy, but because what I'm releasing carries a weight that only a weathered soul can hold. And you, my child, are no longer the version of yourself who first received the word. You are deeper now, stronger, wiser, more surrendered. That is why this moment is ripe. This promise isn't just being fulfilled, it's being unveiled in fullness. You won't just taste a portion. You will drink deeply of what I've preserved. So don't shrink in disbelief. Don't retreat in fear. Don't let the weight of delay poison the wonder of arrival. What I told you is still alive, and it has now matured into manifestation. This is the birthing of what has been brewing behind the veil. And what I release now will carry the evidence that my word never withers, never rusts, never grows weak. What I speak does not pass away. It pierces time and delivers destiny. It walks through delay and comes out glowing with glory. So breathe deep, beloved. Let your soul open wide. Because what I whispered in yesterday's silence is now roaring through today's reality. The word is alive. The promise is real. The fulfillment is here. And heaven is watching you hold what once only existed in your heart. Let me say this loud enough to crush every lie that's tried to coil around your heart. You were not wrong to hope. You were not naive. You were not delusional. You were not foolish for believing when there was no proof. I saw the nights you stared at the ceiling, trying to convince yourself that hope wasn't a trap. I watched you whisper prayers through cracked lips and shaky breath, unsure whether anything was moving at all. And still, you stayed. Still, you believed. Still, you waited. And I took every ounce of that silent trust and wove it into a tapestry of obedience so sacred that even angels marveled. You didn't know it then, but your waiting wasn't a wasted time. It was a written covenant between your heart and my hand. Others may have mocked the slowness of your miracle. They may have questioned why someone with your faith remained stuck so long. But I was never measuring you by timelines. I was measuring your heart by obedience. I wasn't watching the calendar. I was weighing the cost of your continued surrender. And what I saw, child, brought tears to my eyes. I saw you choose me when compromise was easier. I saw you cling to my promise when convenience was calling. I saw you keep walking through fog, through failure, through fatigue, and all of it was sacred. All of it was worship. You thought you were surviving, but heaven saw you testifying. And that testimony has carved out a storyline that no one else could live. You've written chapters in faith that no shortcut could have authored. And now, child, I am finishing the story you started with trembling hands. I am writing the final pages with glory. I am wrapping what you began with surrender in the ink of supernatural fulfillment. No, it won't look like theirs. It won't arrive in the ways others have seen. Because what you carried was custom. What you endured was unique. And what you're about to receive will reflect that divine distinction. You did obey me for applause. You obeyed because you trusted my voice more than your comfort. That is why this moment holds weight. Because this isn't just fulfillment. It's vindication. It's the divine signature of the author himself saying, "See, I told you, those who hope in me will never be put to shame." So lift your head. Let go of the fear that you believed in vain. You are about to see the storyline shift from silent suffering to supernatural unfolding. The pages are turning, and your name is being written into realms where only the faithful are remembered. You were not crazy for believing. You were courageous. You were not foolish for waiting. You were formed by the wait. And now I'm finishing what you started. I'm decorating your life with divine punctuation. And the final chapter doesn't end in exhaustion. It ends in exaltation. I will be glorified through every step you walked in the dark. Because now, the light is shining. The story is singing. And the glory is being poured out, not just on what happened to you, but on what happened through you. And child, this is only the beginning of what I'm about to reveal. Child, do you understand the magnitude of what you've survived? Because I do. I saw the seasons that tried to steal your breath, the moments when life pressed down like a crushing weight, and the countless times when the atmosphere around you screamed one word: quit. What you didn't. You didn't fold. You didn't forfeit. Even when your knees buckled and your voice trembled, you stood. You held your ground in the middle of pressure so fierce that it would have cracked others in half. While some chose escape, you chose endurance. While others rushed toward relief, you remained anchored in faith. And child, I was watching, not as a passive observer, but as a proud father, engraving your obedience into the scrolls of eternity. You didn't break. You bent, yes. You wept. You questioned. You bled. But you did not break. When the enemy whispered lies in the midnight hour, lies about your worth, your calling, your future, you didn't echo his voice. You didn't allow fear to win the argument. You turned your face toward me, even when you couldn't see the path. That, beloved, is strength the world doesn't recognize. That's the kind of resilience that shakes realms. You thought you were just surviving, but in the spirit, you were shouting a war cry every time you chose to stay when it was easier to leave. You were declaring to hell itself, I still belong to him. And that declaration became a shield, a flame, a holy banner over your life. You held your position, and child, that position was holy. I stationed you there on purpose. And though the ground quaked beneath your feet, you refused to move without my word. That kind of obedience cannot be taught in easy seasons. It's forged in fire. It's tested in turbulence. You passed through a proving ground disguised as confusion. You walked through a wilderness that others avoided. And in that wilderness, you became a warrior. Not with noise, not with titles, but with the kind of sacred stillness that only comes from trusting me when I seem silent. You didn't allow intimidation to dictate your decisions. You didn't bow to the pressure to perform. You stood firm in faith, even when nothing around you looked like promise. And now, my child, I am honoring that posture. I am rewarding that resolve. Heaven does not forget the ones who hold the line when no one is watching. I'm sending reinforcements. I'm opening doors not just because you asked, but because you remained. And this breakthrough will not be ordinary, because your obedience was extraordinary. This next wave of blessing will carry my fingerprint and your footprint, interwoven in covenant. I'm not just releasing a gift. I'm releasing a commendation. You didn't run. You didn't retreat. You held the line, and now I will redefine the line through you. You are marked by the battles you survive it, and the mantle I'm placing on your life next will reflect the weight you carried in silence. And child, I say again, you did not break. You overcame. And now, child, as I continue to unfold what I told you was coming, I'm inviting you to sow into the very river that's nourishing your soul. You're not just receiving this word, you're becoming a carrier of it. Just as I've opened something for you, I'm calling you to help open the way for others. Your giving is not a donation. It is a divine seed placed directly into my soil. When you give, you help light a fire in hearts that have grown cold. You help send my voice to someone hanging by a thread. He who refreshes others will himself be refreshed. Proverbs 11:25. And I am speaking that over you. I will multiply what leaves your hand, protect what remains, and flood your life with favor. Now act on this moment. You super thanks. Become a member or give through the link below. Do it now. Let what just opened for you unlock breakthrough for someone else. There's a holy shift under your feet, and I want you to recognize it, not just with your intellect, but with your whole being. You're no longer standing in the place of wondering. You've crossed the invisible line between possibility and possession. This isn't about maybe anymore. This isn't about one day or if God wills. I have willed it. I have declared it. And now, you're no longer hoping for the beginning. You're holding the evidence that it has already begun. You're walking in the wake of something sacred that has already been set in motion. A movement has started. The unfolding has begun. You are not waiting for the tide to rise. You are already knee-deep in its waters. I want you to stop praying like you're still behind. Stop speaking like breakthrough is a distant dream. Look around you. Feel it in your bones. The atmosphere has shifted. The pressure you feel now isn't the weight of delay. It's the weight of fulfillment settling into reality. You're walking through doors that once felt sealed. You're encountering people and places that once seemed unreachable. The alignment is too exact to be accidental. The timing is too precise to be human. You are not chasing signs, you are becoming one. The fire that once tested you is now illuminating you. You're no longer pacing the floor in anxious waiting. You're stepping forward with prophetic clarity, whether you realize it or not. That is not pride. That is possession. And child, I need you to carry this with confidence, not arrogance, not over-explanation, but holy certainty. Because too many around you are still living in hesitation, and I've called you to model how to move when my voice says now. The enemy would love for you to remain in a posture of perpetual waiting, forever doubting whether you're allowed to step forward. But I break that lie off of you now. I declare, you are not late. You are not behind. And you are not unauthorized. You are appointed. What I've begun in you will not pause for fear. It will not shrink for doubt. And it will not require validation from those I never asked to confirm your calling. You're walking in it because I called you into it. So take a deep breath and let your spirit catch up with what's already begun. Let your eyes adjust to the light of fulfillment rising around you. Oh, he won't live perfect. And yes, it may feel unfamiliar, but it's real. It's moving. It's tangible. This isn't you getting ready. This is me revealing what's already ready in you. This is what you prayed for. This is what you sowed into with tears. And now you're holding the harvest, even if it hasn't fully formed. This is the beginning of the middle of a divine movement. So stop apologizing for walking in what I gave you. Stop pretending you're not ready when I've already equipped you. You're not hoping anymore. You're holding. And what you hold now is not the end of the wait. It's the beginning of the witness. Listen to me, child. Heaven is not standing still. There has been a shift in the realm unseen. A decree has gone out, not a suggestion, not a pending request, but a divine command, sealed in the courts of glory. And with that decree, I have summoned my angels, not as watchers, not as note-takers, but as executors of my word. These are not angels in waiting. These are messengers in motion. They are not rehearsing. They are releasing. They carry scrolls in their hands, not filled with dreams yet to be formed, but with instructions to deliver what has already been declared over you. These scrolls are not marked with future possibilities. They are inscribed with now assignments. I didn't call them to prepare for your miracle. I've released them to perform it. You felt it, haven't you? That sudden stirring in your spirit. That divine dissonance. It's because the air around you has become saturated with angelic activity. Your room, your space, your atmosphere, it has become a delivery zone. And every delay that once resisted is now being overridden by the authority of heaven. You are no longer waiting for breakthrough to find you. Breakthrough has been dispatched to overtake you. These angels are not carrying vague encouragement. They are carrying keys, strategies, scrolls, and the substance of what you've been contending for. You thought you were just feeling a shift, but child, you've been assigned reinforcement. And the ones I've sent do not return void. They do not retreat. They do not get distracted. They execute with precision. Let me tell you something you need to know deep in your bones. Nothing can stop what I've set into motion. Not confusion. Not fatigue. Not fear. Because what I've unleashed is not based on your performance. It's based on my promise. These angelic forces aren't responding to your effort. They are responding to my eternal decree. When I speak, creation moves. When I release a word, heaven doesn't deliberate. It delivers. And right now, child, delivery is underway. The angels I've assigned to your life are opening doors you thought were locked forever. They are silencing voices of accusation. They are routing stolen resources. They are untangling confusion in relationships. They are activating timelines. They are releasing provision. They are healing wounds you thought you'd carry forever. And they are not doing this gradually. They are doing it now. So shift your posture. Align your faith. Angels don't operate in environments of passive hope. They respond to active agreement. Speak life. Speak alignment. A big expectancy. The realm around you is heavy with holy movement. Don't resist it by trying to figure it all out. Flow with me. Partner with heaven's rhythm. What I've started in the invisible is about to crash into the visible with undeniable evidence. The supernatural has been ignited, and the scrolls are unraveling even now. So be alert. Be sensitive. Because any day now, any moment now, you will feel it break open. You'll see it manifest. And you'll know, this wasn't just a shift. This was an invasion. And it was heaven's response to your unwavering faith. Child, let me touch the parts of you you've learned to hide. The ache you've disguised with a nod. The tears you wiped before anyone could notice. The heaviness that wrapped itself around your chest even while your hands served faithfully. I've seen it all. You didn't have to speak it for me to hear it. The unspoken pain. The tiredness no one saw. The questions you buried so deep, even you forgot they were still there. You carried weight meant for giants, and yet you never stopped showing up. You fought wars in the quiet corners of your mind while still encouraging others. And through it all, you never cursed me. You never gave up on me. And for that, child, I am stepping in, not with sympathy, but with sovereign reversal. This is not a gentle easy. This is not a subtle shift. This is a divine interruption, an abrupt breaking of cycles, an immediate disarming of the weights that held you down. I'm not coming to offer relief. I'm coming to bring release. You've carried sorrow like it was sacred. You wore resilience like armor. But today I am removing that armor, not to leave you vulnerable, but to restore what the war tried to take. The weight of unspoken disappointment is being lifted. The weariness masked by your smile is being healed. I'm not just touching the obvious wounds. I'm going to the deep places, those chambers of the soul that grew quiet from exhaustion. And there, I will breathe life again. What you thought was permanent is being reversed. What felt irreversible is being rewritten. The years that looked like loss will now be counted as seeds. The tears that felt wasted will become oil. The silence that haunted you will now be filled with sound, the sound of rejoicing, the sound of restoration, the sound of fulfillment. You didn't just endure, you embodied trust. And I honor that trust by answering with more than words. I answer with a movement. A wave of reversal so clear that those around you will pause and say, surely, the hand of God did this. And they'll be right. Because this is my hand, reaching into your timeline and realigning what the enemy tried to twist. What once grew you will now crown you. What once drained you will now empower you. I am reversing the weight into wonder. So let go, child. Let me interrupt your sorrow. Let me arrest the tiredness that has lingered too long. I am not just healing. I am restoring. I'm returning joy in measures that match the pain. I'm giving back years that were stolen. I'm wrapping your heart in comfort not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. And this reversal is not temporary. It is final. It is sealed. It is done. You will look back and not just say, I survived. You will say, He redeemed it all. Because I always do. And now, the reversal begins. No more delay, beloved. No more standing at the edge with hands half open, afraid to hope fully. The waiting that defined your past seasons is not what defines you now. I have not left you standing on the side of the road, watching others pass by. I have not overlooked your devotion, your intercession, your tears. I have been watching with divine precision, and now I am summoning you forward. This is not just a shift in your atmosphere. This is a summons from the throne. I'm not whispering, maybe. I'm declaring, now. Not just a visitation of encouragement, a manifestation of destiny, not a glimpse, a fullness. You're not on the sidelines anymore. You're being called into the center of what I've prepared just for you. Visitation comes and goes, but manifestation remains. And I did not form you in secret, whisper to you in the dark, shape you in silence, and strengthen you in warfare just to give you temporary glimpses of what could be. No, child, that's not how I work. I am the God of completion, the God who finishes what He starts, the God who doesn't tease His children with fragments when He has prepared a feast of fulfillment. This is why the wait was so long. This is why the pressure became unbearable. Because I wasn't preparing you for a moment. I was preparing you for manifestation. I was forming you into someone who could sustain the weight of glory, not just touch it and run. That's why others came and went, but you remained. And now, because you remained, I'm calling you into the fullness that's been waiting for you. You need to understand this shift in your spirit. You are not waiting anymore. Waiting says, I'm still unsure. Summoning says, you've been chosen. And you have been chosen for a visible, undeniable, irreversible unveiling of my promises in your life. This is not about just receiving blessings. This is about becoming the very thing I spoke over you. You're not only about to see miracles, you're about to walk as one. I've summoned you to take your place. The place that was shaped in secret, preserved in patience, and now revealed by fire. I've summoned you into open reward for private obedience, into territory that responds to your voice, into a rhythm of heaven where the veil is thin and my presence is thick, into a manifestation that marks you permanently. So step forward. Don't hesitate. Don't apologize. Don't second guess whether it's real. You've been prepared for this. The room you're walking into was built with your name engraved on its walls. The doors opening are not random. They are summonses of heaven. The alignments forming are not coincidences. They are orchestrations of divine timing. This isn't about chance. It's about chosenness. And you, my child, have been chosen, not to witness the wave but to ride it. Not to sample the goodness, but to host it. Not to gather crumbs, but to carry bread for others. You've transitioned. Heaven has shifted. And I'm calling you into the fullness that was always written into your story. It's no longer just coming. It has arrived, and so have you. Stop trying to convince them, child. Stop trying to explain yourself to people who were never meant to discern the weight you carry. I did not ask you to prove your worth. I called you to walk in it. I did not assign you to perform for recognition. I anointed you to abide in revelation. The calling I placed on your life was never up for debate. It wasn't voted on. It wasn't a group decision. It was spoken by me alone, in the quiet corridors of eternity before you ever breathed your first breath. And what I've spoken over you, I've sealed with my presence. You don't need credentials from people when you carry the confirmation of heaven. My child, Let this truth settle into your soul like holy fire. My presence is your proof. Not applause, not approval, not titles. Me. When I walk with you, nothing can stand against you. When I rest upon you, you carry an authority that cannot be counterfeited. And when I move through you, you don't have to strive. You just have to flow. I've called you into a season of divine simplicity. A season where your walk will speak louder than your words. Where the evidence of my nearness will silence every accuser, drown out every critic, and comfort every question. I'm not asking you to argue your anointing. I'm asking you to carry it. I'm not sending you to prove anything. I'm sending you to manifest my glory. There's a reason the pressure to prove has increased. The enemy knows you're walking into fulfillment, so he's trying to drag you into performance. But I break that lie off of you now. You are not a showpiece. You are a son, a daughter, an heir. Your life is not a stage. It's a sanctuary. And what I'm doing in you is not for display. It's for dominion. You walk with me, and that's all the validation you'll ever need. Let your peace be your platform. Let your stillness be your statement. Let your fruit be your confirmation. And let my power be your seal. Because, child, when I seal something, it cannot be opened by man. When I approve something, no one else's opinion matters. And when I walk with someone, the atmosphere around them knows it. To walk boldly, not to prove anything, but to carry everything. Carry the peace that confounds logic. Carry the joy that makes no sense. Carry the fire that sets others ablaze. You don't have to prove that I'm with you. I'll prove myself through you. Your obedience is the open door. Your humility is the holy ground. And I, the Lord your God, will make myself known through every step you take. Don't shrink. Don't rush. Don't try to explain away the glory I'm placing on your life. Just walk with me. And as you do, I will unfold, reveal, and establish everything I've spoken, because my presence is your proof, and my power is your seal. Child, I know the silence nearly crushed you. I know how many nights you sat alone, wondering if I had turned my face away. I know the ache that comes from lifting your hands in prayer and hearing no reply. The way you question not just the situation, but yourself. Did I miss it? Did I misstep? Did he forget me? These thoughts crept in like shadows when the heavens seemed quiet. But hear me now, the silence was never abandonment. It was strategy. While you waited, I was orchestrating. While you wept, I was aligning. While you listened to nothing but stillness, I was setting everything in motion. You see, you assumed that stillness meant inactivity. But I am not a passive God. My silence isn't a void, it's a womb. It's where things take shape that you couldn't handle all at once. If I had shown you the fullness of what I was doing, it would have overwhelmed you. So I protected you with silence. And not only that, I preserved the process. There were details being aligned, divine intersections you didn't even know you needed, relationships mended in secret, resources routed from far-off places, people I was transforming, just so they'd be ready to stand beside you when your door opened. I wasn't ignoring you. I was constructing the very moment that would change everything. I want you to shift your lens. Stop interpreting delay as disorder. Start recognizing it for what it was. Divine coordination. What seemed like nothing happening was actually everything happening behind the curtain. Heaven was busy with your name in its mouth. Scrolls were being inscribed with blueprints. Angelic assignments were being dispatched with your address encoded into their orders. I couldn't let you see it all, because some of it required your faith to stay pure. You had to believe before you beheld. You had to trust me in the pause so you could walk with me in the promise. And now, beloved, the strategy has met its moment. The alignment is complete. What was hidden is now being revealed. The curtain is lifting, not because time has passed, but because the time has come. So don't mourn the silence anymore. Don't replay the ache of absence. I was never absent. I was ahead of you, waiting for the precise intersection where my timing would collide with your obedience. You didn't miss it. You didn't delay it. You were part of it. And now I'm acting. Watch me move. Not subtly, not slowly, but with unmistakable authority. You'll see what I was doing when you thought I was doing nothing. You'll realize that silence wasn't the absence of my voice. It was the sound of heaven preparing a miracle that could only arrive in fullness. And child, the fullness has come. You've spent so much of your life catching glimpses. Moments where your heart fluttered with hope, just enough to keep going. Just enough to believe that maybe, just maybe, the promise was near. You saw pieces. You felt flashes. You caught echoes of what I said in the distance. But then the fog would roll back in. The vision would blur. The doors that looked open would close again. And you began to wonder if it was all in your head. But hear me now, child, with all the weight of heaven behind these words. This is not another glimpse. This is the arrival. What you're standing in right now is not a teaser. It's not a test. It's the very thing I told you I would do. You're not seeing the outline of what's to come. You're walking inside the substance of it. The shadow has given way to the solid. The promise has stepped out of mystery and into manifestation. And I need you to recognize it so that you don't shrink back, thinking this is just another spiritual high. No, child, this is real. This is tangible. This is here. You're not just being visited by hope. You are being habitated by fulfillment. You are no longer grasping for possibility. You are holding the very thing I once whispered in the dark. What was far away is now present. What was blurry is now crystal clear. You don't need to keep asking, is this it? I am telling you, this is it. And now, you must walk in it. Not carefully, not cautiously, confidently. Because when I deliver, I don't deliver in pieces. I don't tease with taste. I satisfy with abundance. The days of half-fulfilled words and incomplete circles are over. You are stepping into wholeness, into the season where the pieces you've held on to begin to fit together, where what didn't make sense before suddenly locks into clarity, where what felt like waiting now makes sense in the rear view. This is the moment where the almost becomes already, where the preparation gives way to possession. You're not on the brink anymore. You're in the middle of the miracle. So lift your eyes. Open your hands. Take it all in. This isn't a prelude. It's the performance. This isn't just the promise in concept. It's the promise in contact. You've entered the room of what you prayed for. Now breathe deep. Own it. Receive it. I didn't bring you here to look. I brought you here to live. This is not a shadow. It's the substance. And I, the Lord your God, am faithful to every word I've spoken. You're standing in it now. Let that truth become your foundation. You are not glimpsing anymore. You are living in fulfillment. Child, come closer, because what I am about to say will shift the way you see your entire life. You've prayed for miracles like sun and rain in the desert. Unexpected, rare, extraordinary. And yes, I've done that for you. I've shown up in moments when you least expected, because I love to overwhelm your natural with my supernatural. But hear me now. You've crossed over. You are no longer just a recipient of miraculous interruptions. You've stepped into a dimension where miracles now recognize you. They don't knock on your door, they walk through it. They don't visit occasionally, they follow you persistently. You have entered the territory where heaven is not a rescue, it's a rhythm. This is not arrogance, child, it's alignment. I've taken you through enough battles, enough refining, enough pressing, not just so you could survive them, but so that you could carry authority on the other side of them. You didn't walk through fire just to tell stories, you walked through it so you could carry fire that transforms others. You didn't weather storms just to escape the wind. You endured so you could speak to the wind and command peace. The realm you now occupy is one of miraculous movement. It's not that you will see a miracle once in a while. It's that you are the catalyst through which miracles will manifest for others. You're not waiting for divine activity. You are marked by it. Understand this shift. Miracles are not anomalies in your life anymore. They are assignments. They are scheduled to arrive through you, not just to you. You've become a landing strip for divine intervention. When you step into a room, heaven steps in with you. Not because of anything you've earned, but because of everything you've endured. I trust you now with miracle moments because you carry the maturity to steward them. You won't take credit. You won't manipulate. You won't shrink. You will simply say, "Yes, Lord," and move with me as I move through you. This is what you were born for, not just to witness my hand, but to host it. Not just to believe in the supernatural, but to become a vessel of it. So walk forward, child, with holy awareness. Expect the impossible. Anticipate the sudden. Make room for the unexpected. Because what once felt like random outpourings will now become daily encounters. What once seemed like divine surprises will now become divine strategies. You're not asking for signs, you are the sign. Your very life will be proof that heaven is near, that my presence is real, that I still move in power. And don't be surprised when things shift around you just because you arrive. It's not ego, it's evidence. You carry me. You carry my atmosphere. And where I am, miracles are not optional, they're inevitable. Beloved, there will be people, well-meaning ones, who will look at your breakthrough and call it sudden. They'll say, "Wow, how fast that turned around," or "that came out of nowhere." They'll marvel at the rapid rise, the open doors, the favor, the visibility. But you and I, we know the truth. This didn't come out of nowhere. This was not a sudden shift. This was subcooked in surrender. This was built in the back rooms of pain and patience. This was forged in the furnace of long nights, unseen obedience, and moments where you chose faith over comfort again and again. This did not appear by chance. It was earned in the realm of sacrifice. You see, child, they see the fruit, but I saw the root. I saw the times you said yes when no one applauded. I saw the moments you kept trusting when every voice around you told you to quit. I heard the prayers you didn't post, the fasts you didn't broadcast, the brokenness you didn't parade around. You gave me everything in private. You laid your heart bare before me when no one else was watching. That is where this came from. Not a single act of greatness, but 1,000 unseen obediences. 1,000 small deaths to your will. 1,000 choices to love, to forgive, to wait, to worship when the answer was still not yet. And every single one of those moments was a brick in the foundation of this moment. What you're stepping into now is not luck. It's legacy. This is not just the reward of a promise. It's the harvest of every tear, every yes, every act of costly trust. Others will see the bloom, but I saw the burial. I saw what had to die in you to make room for this new life. And I honor that. I honor that with a fulfillment so undeniable, so tailor-made, that it carries your name written into its DNA. And here's the beauty. While they marvel at how quickly things changed, you will know the depth of what it cost, and that knowledge will protect your heart from pride. It will anchor you in humility, and it will cause you to say, "This was the Lord's doing, and it is marvelous in our eyes." So smile, child. Smile when they say, "That happened fast." Smile and remember the fire, the crying, the process. Smile and bless them, but never forget, we did this together. We walked through it all. And what you now carry is not just success. It is sacred. This moment didn't come from striving. It came from surrender. It came from a heart that refused to let go of me. And I will always reward that. I will always honor that. And I will always show up when the time is right. Because I am the God who turns hidden faith into public favor. Not suddenly, but sovereignly. You've whispered this question in the hidden corners of your heart more times than you could count. Why did it take so long? You didn't always say it out loud, but I heard it, underneath the sighs, beneath the quiet smiles, in the lonely spaces between prayers. And now, I want to answer you, not with a rebuke, but with revelation. A wait wasn't a punishment. A delay wasn't neglect. I never forgot you. Not even once. Not for a breath. Not for a heartbeat. I didn't delay because you failed. I delayed because what I was building for you required foundations deeper than what eyes can see. What I was preparing for you had to be fortified beyond reach. I was crafting something that could not be touched by sabotage, not be shaken by accusation, not be penetrated by demonic warfare. I was building something that could only be sustained by me. You see, child, if I had given it to you too soon, others could have claimed it. The enemy could have mimicked it. Your own heart could have mishandled it. But I am not the kind of God who hands out fragile blessings. I build legacies, and legacies take time. I wasn't just preparing the miracle, I was preparing the structure to hold it. Every closed door, every prolonged season, every unanswered prayer wasn't wasted. It was strategic. I wasn't stalling your breakthrough, I was sealing it. Every hidden layer of construction was to protect what I was forming. Because when I pour out what's next, it won't just come as a blessing. It will come as a stronghold of my glory that cannot be moved by time, trials, or tongues. There were unseen battles fought on your behalf. Timelines I adjusted, schemes I dismantled, voices I silenced, doors I intentionally left closed because behind them were traps, not treasures. You didn't see the war, but I did. And that's why the delay wasn't denial. It was divine shielding. Because I care more about sustainability than speed. And what I've prepared for you has your name written into its blueprint, your obedience folded into its structure, your tears poured into its foundation. It will stand not just as a testimony to what I can do, but as proof that what I do through surrender cannot be taken, shaken, or stolen. This thing I'm building, it will outlive storms, outlast slander, outshine confusion. And it will never fall because I'm the one who laid every stone. So stop mourning the time. Stop questioning the years. They were not lost. They were laid with purpose. And now, as the scaffolding comes down and the unveiling begins, you will see what I was really doing. I was building something that won't just bless you, it will bless generations after you. It took time because it wasn't shallow. It took time because it wasn't temporary. It took time because it was holy. And now, it's time to step into it. Not timidly, not apologetically, but with the full knowledge that I never forgot you. I was faithfully building what no hand could destroy. As I said, it wasn't just coming, it's here. And now that you're standing in this moment of divine release, I'm asking you to become part of how I pour this into others. Your support is not just support, it's strategy. You're helping carry my word to the next soul I'm about to ignite. When you give, you're placing oil in the lamps of those whose fire has almost gone out. You're sowing into fertile prophetic ground, and I will not let your seed return empty. Give, and it will be given to you, a good measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Luke 6:38. This is that moment. On someday. Now. It's super thanks. Join the membership. Give through the link in the description, and watch how I multiply what you place in my hands. Oh my child, if only you knew the full scope of what I've just done for you. You've been asking me to break obvious chains, visible ones, familiar ones. But what I've broken goes far beyond what you could see. There were hidden chains, forged in childhood wounds, entangled in generational lies, wrapped in shame so silent you stopped noticing it. Chains not of iron but of identity. Chains made of whispered conclusions about who you are and who you'll never be. And I tell you now with holy authority, I've broken them. Every single one. The ones you named in prayer and the ones you didn't even know were there. They snapped, not by your effort, but by my decree. I shattered them because you belong to me. And in my presence, no bondage survives. There were ceilings placed over your calling, not by me, but by systems, by voices, by environments that could not comprehend the magnitude of what I placed in you. They called it humility when they told you to shrink. They called it wisdom when they tried to confine you to their understanding. But I call it what it was, limitation. And I have shattered those ceilings. I didn't ask for permission. I didn't wait for consensus. I tore them open with the roar of heaven. Because what I put in you will not be suppressed. What I designed in you will not be edited by the opinions of the uninformed. You were never meant to fit in their mold. That's why you felt out of place for so long, because I destined you to break molds, not fit them. I've gone even further still. I'd erased verdicts. Yes, a child, verdicts. Spoken words, casual curses, judgments disguised as concern. Labels placed on you by those who never saw your soul. Too much. Too broken. Too slow. Too late. I have erased them all. With one stroke of my blood-stained hand, I have rewritten the narrative that others tried to inscribe over your life. Where they said failure, I have written faithful. Where they said unworthy, I have inscribed chosen. Where they said forgotten, I have carved sealed. These verdicts held power only as long as you didn't know what I had said. But now, I'm giving you access to the real record, the heavenly one. The one that bears witness to your becoming, not your brokenness. To walk in freedom. Not just from sin, but from shame. From silence. From smallness. Don't ask for permission to be who I created you to be. I've already authorized you. Don't seek validation from those who were never assigned to understand you. I've already verified you with my spirit. You are not bound. You are not capped. You are not condemned. You are free. Uncaged. Ali. And I, your God, have done this, not because you earned it, but because you are mine. And what belongs to me does not live in chains. Not anymore. Not ever again. I know what it felt like, child. Those rooms you walked into and somehow still felt unseen. The way you gave everything, your time, your heart, your loyalty, only to feel passed over, overlooked, and underestimated. You sat in circles where your voice was drowned out by noise, where your light was dimmed by competition, where you felt like a background character in everyone else's story. And yet, in those places of invisibility, you didn't lose your integrity. You didn't give up. You stayed the course. You kept your heart clean. You kept serving. You kept loving. And that posture, that obedience in the shadows, has moved my heart more deeply than you can imagine. Now hear me, and hear me clearly. You are about to be seen, but not as the world sees. Not with performance, not with striving. I am lifting you into visibility with purity, not to inflate your ego, but to reveal my glory. I'm not putting you on a platform for applause. I'm placing you in position for impact. You're not being promoted to perform. You're being elevated to carry my presence. What they couldn't see in the past was never your fault. They weren't assigned to recognize you. I hid you. I covered you. Because the moment wasn't ready, and neither were they. But now, I am unveiling you. And this unveiling isn't random. It's strategic. It's not because you demanded to be seen, but because you proved you could be trusted in hiddenness. And now, what was once obscurity is becoming opportunity. I'm taking the very places where you felt forgotten and transforming them into launch pads for influence. And no, it won't make sense to those who watched you suffer. They'll wonder, where did this come from? But you and I both know it came from the soil of surrender, from the pain of patience, from the hidden trenches where you built history with me when no one was watching. And now, your influence will not be shallow or fleeting. It will be rooted in authenticity. It will carry weight. Because what you carry is not just talent. It's testimony. It's trust. It's truth, wrapped in the fragrance of real encounter. So don't shrink. Don't deflect. Don't hide your face when I reveal what I've placed in you. You're not stealing attention. You're stewarding revelation. You're not stealing the spotlight. You're standing in the glory. And that light isn't for vanity. It's for visibility, so others can find me through you. You've been chosen not because you're perfect, but because you stayed faithful when it would have been easier to walk away. And now, the very platform that once felt far away is being pulled underneath your feet. It will hold you not because you built it, but because I did. And you will never have to perform for what I've already assigned. You are seen. You are summoned. You are standing in visibility that reflects me. Let's talk about that ache. The one you try to ignore but still feel whenever you think about what could have been. The opportunity that seemed golden. The moment that felt divinely timed. The thing you were so sure was me, and then it slipped. You watched it pass by like a train you couldn't catch. And for so long, you've secretly wrestled with that sense of regret. Did you miss it? Did you hesitate? Did you fail? You've replayed the scene in your mind so many times that it's etched into your memory like a scar. But child, today I'm rewriting that narrative. You didn't miss it. I protected it. I pulled it back, not because you were unworthy, but because it was premature. I saw what you couldn't. I saw the traps hidden in what looked like promotion. I saw the weight you weren't quite ready to carry. I saw the people involved who were not prepared to steward your heart well. And because I love you too deeply to let you walk into something dressed as destiny but dripping with destruction, I intervened. Yes, it felt like a loss. Yes, it shook your confidence. But I promise you, it was my protection, not your failure. I didn't withhold it as punishment. I preserved it with precision. Because I knew this moment, right now, would be the exact time when the opportunity would meet maturity. when the door would swing open into an atmosphere that could actually sustain you, honor you, and launch you. I need you to lift your eyes, child. The opportunity isn't gone, it's returning. But this time, it's clothed in wholeness. This time, it's arriving with alignment. The connections are pure. The environment is ready. The timing is sanctified. This is not a recycled version of what you lost. This is the original promise, reintroduced in divine timing. And here's the beauty. What the enemy thought he stole, I never let him touch. I kept it hidden. I kept it safe. And now, I'm placing it back into your hands, not to tempt you with what could have been, but to fulfill what always was. You are not catching up. You are right on time. So receive it, not with guilt, but with gratitude. Walk into it, not with fear, but with faith. The delay didn't disqualify you, it qualified you. You learned things in that waiting season that now make you ready to carry what I am releasing. You are stronger. You are freer. You are more deeply rooted in me. And now, when this opportunity unfolds before you, and it will, you'll know beyond a shadow of a doubt. This was not random. This was redemption. The moment is now, child. And it is yours. Pause, child. Still your spirit. You've heard phrases like new season before, haven't you? So many shifts. So many prophetic announcements. You've walked through changes, transitions, and doors with trembling hands and hopeful heart, praying that this time, it would be different. And while each step has mattered, while every shift has carried weight, I need you to understand something unmistakably clear in this moment. This is not just another season. You are not merely changing calendars or entering another chapter. You are stepping into the full unveiling of your ordained identity. This is not a transition. This is a coronation. For so long, you've walked as a servant, faithful, willing, obedient, but not always aware of what I placed upon you. You've carried anointing like a secret, hidden beneath layers of humility and uncertainty. You knew there was more in you, but didn't know how to access it. You felt greatness press against your ribs, but didn't know if it was pride or prophecy. And now, I'm making it unmistakably clear, it was always me. That fire inside you, that cry for purpose, that ache to make impact. It was not ambition, it was inheritance. I have crowned you with something heaven recognizes, even if earth hasn't caught up yet. And now, child, it's time to wear the crown. I'm not giving you a crown for ego or image. This is not royalty for display, it is authority for assignment. I'm crowning you with clarity, so you no longer question who you are. I'm crowning you with boldness, so you no longer shrink to fit comfort zones. I'm crowning you with favor, so doors open that once denied you access. And I'm crowning you with responsibility, because what you carry now isn't just for you. It's for nations, generations, and atmospheres I'm sending you into. This coronation isn't about sitting on a throne. It's about moving with heaven's backing. Every step you take from this moment forward echoes with the sound of divine endorsement. You're not just accepted, you're anointed. You're not just welcomed, you're positioned. And now, as heaven places this unseen crown upon your spirit, I call you to rise in posture, rise in identity, rise in awareness. Because this isn't about elevation alone, it's about alignment. You're not stepping into potential, you're stepping into preparation fulfilled. You are not who you were yesterday, and you will never be mistaken for less again. The coronation is complete. The identity is established, and the heavens are declaring, This one walks with God. This is the moment I've been leading you to, child. This is the crescendo, the unveiling, the very thing I whispered in midnight hours and confirmed in early morning tears. You've heard it stirring for weeks, maybe months. You've felt it like a current under your skin, like something massive rumbling beneath the surface of your life. And I've been repeating it over and over, not out of frustration, but with urgency, with love, with certainty. It's coming. It's coming. And now, child, it's here. The moment has arrived. I am shouting it into your spirit. Attention. What you waited for is no longer waiting. It's breaking forth now. This is not symbolic. This is not metaphor. This is movement. Real. Visible. Tangible. Heaven has gone from announcing to delivering. This is the moment where the promise becomes proof. The prophetic becomes public. A war becomes a witness. And the enemy who tried to break you will now have to watch as you rise, not by force, but by favor. Because nothing can stop what I've set in motion. Not opposition, not timing, not betrayal, not even your own past doubts. When I say it's time, it's time. And I said it. I said it was coming. And child, I do not lie. The things you thought would take years will now happen in moments. The doors you thought would never open are swinging wide with divine acceleration. The connections, the resources, the clarity, all aligning like stars in divine choreography. And you'll know it's me. Not chance. A coincidence. Me. Because the fingerprints on every detail will smell of grace. You won't have to strive. You'll just have to step. I didn't call you to fight for this blessing. I fought for you so you could receive it. And now, it's here. And just like I promised, you won't miss it. So lift your head. Take a breath. Receive the fullness. You'll tiptoe around it. Stand in it. I've prepared you. I've preserved you. I positioned you. And now, I'm performing everything I said. The storm was real. The fire was fierce. The wait was long. But the word has arrived. And now, your life becomes the stage for my faithfulness. The world will look at you and see what it means when God keeps His promise. And child, this is only the beginning. You heard me. You felt me. I said it was coming, and now you see it, feel it, know it. And now, I'm moving through you to reach others. This isn't just your breakthrough, it's the beginning of someone else's. I've opened a door for you. Now hold it open for another. As you give, you're not losing, you're planting rivers. You're sowing glory into places where my light must shine. Those who sow in tears will reap with shouts of joy. Psalm 126:5. And your seed, even now, is unlocking harvest. Don't wait. Don't overthink. Click super thanks. Become a member or give below right now. I will remember it. I will bless it. And I will mark your obedience with power. Now, speak it out loud. Seal it with your voice. Right here, right now. I want you to declare it publicly. It's here. And I'm ready to walk in it. Don't let this moment pass in silence. I didn't call you to observe. I called you to step in. If this word was for you, let it echo in the comments below. Say it boldly. Say it prophetically. Say it like someone who knows they've been summoned. Because I said it was coming, and now it's here. And when you release those words, don't rush away. Stay in this moment, because what you just declared opened the door for what I am about to reveal. You heard my promise. Now you must hear my command. The atmosphere around you has shifted, and you can feel it. The stirring, the tightening, the sudden gravity that pulls your spirit forward. What was delayed is now active, and you cannot afford to treat this lightly. Stand still, child, and listen, my child. Attention. I speak to you now, and you must hear me, for this is the absolute urgency of the moment. You have been waiting, you have been yearning, and you have become accustomed to the long, quiet stretch of silence, but that silence is broken now by my clear decree. I know your mind is cluttered with the noise of the world, with deadlines, and with the constant, nagging pressures of your life. But I am commanding your focus back to me, your Creator, right now. I am shaking the foundations of your ordinary life to get your attention. I am not talking about the subtle tremor you usually ignore. I am talking about a deliberate, divine seismic shift aimed at your spirit. I have allowed the instability around you, the unexpected loss, the sudden challenge at work, the financial strain that brings that tight knot in your stomach, not to destroy you, but to serve as an alarm bell. Recognize this. When the ground shifts beneath your feet, it is often my merciful hand signaling that it is time to look up. I want you to feel the instability of the earthly structures you've relied upon so that you will finally place your anchor in my unshakable kingdom. I know your unspoken fears, the worry that you are being overlooked, and the deep, frustrating pressure at your job that makes you feel like you are never enough. I see the fatigue in your eyes from the silent battles you fight every day, the battles you never talk about with anyone else. But I am here now to give you my compassion, speaking to you before the full unfolding of all things. I am giving you a moment of pure clarity, a chance to prepare before the storm truly hits. I am separating my word from the constant noise, the gossip, and the endless bad news that the world throws at you every hour. The world speaks in hollow threats and empty promises, a cacophony of fear designed to blind you to your achievements and to make your faith waver. My voice, however, carries life, hope, and an authority that calms the storms both within and outside of you. Pause now. Close your eyes and tune out the demanding voices of your to-do list and the fear of tomorrow. Breathe in my presence and feel the profound difference between the world's anxious chatter and the certainty of my powerful word. The world shouts its warnings. I speak my truth with gentle strength. This is more than a gentle invitation. It is a direct, loving command. I need your eyes and your spirit wide open. Stop delaying your spiritual work. Stop postponing the honest conversation you need to have with me about what truly holds your loyalty. Do not treat this moment as a suggestion, but as the most critical directive you will ever receive. Rise now from the apathy that has tried to claim your soul and step into the active faith I require of you. I am your guide, and I am telling you the way forward is clear. Attention. Hear me. Trust me and prepare yourself for the magnificent and the real. Your destiny is in my hands, and I am the only one who truly matters in this hour. My child, I said it was coming. You must engrave this truth into your heart, for it is the unshakable reality that frames this hour. Look back, not with regret, but with the clear eyes of understanding. When you recall the anxieties that grip your world, the escalating chaos, the instability in the marketplace, the sense that society is fraying at the edges, do these feelings truly surprise you? They should not, for they are merely the visible echoes of my ancient promises and warnings laid out for you in the scriptures. I gave you the roadmap, the detailed blueprint for this exact season, and now you are witnessing the prophetic fulfillment in the most visceral, undeniable terms. You may have forgotten, allowing the routines of daily life to lull your spiritual senses, leading to a deep, frustrating spiritual slumber. But my word is not a quaint story for Sunday mornings. It is the most reliable and immutable document in existence. I have never uttered a word that did not come to pass, and I will not begin now. I speak of the reliability and immutability of my divine word, which stands firmer than the mountain you struggle to climb every day. The daily struggle, the pressure of keeping your family fed, the weight of debts, the fear of illness. These are the modern parallels to the warnings of old, a pattern of history repeating itself before my decisive intervention. Your anxieties about the future are simply the consequence of forgetting that I said it was coming. You were meant to be awake, keenly discerning the difference between the general signs that always exist and the specific, rapidly accelerating unveiling happening now. I see your spiritual slumber, my beloved. I see you choosing distraction over discipline, gossip over the guarding of your heart. Wake up now. This is not a gentle request. It is a spiritual emergency. You worry about the bills, the health of your loved ones, and the security of your job. All necessary, grounded concerns. But when you only focus on those worries, you miss the larger, profound reality. I am moving, and everything is aligning with my timeless plan. Let this be a gentle rebuke for your forgetfulness, delivered with the deepest love. You have been so busy managing the symptoms, the stress, the sleepless nights, the need for constant distraction, that you forgot to consult the physician who promised the cure. The pattern of history repeats itself. Chaos precedes clarity. Shaking precedes stability. I am not hiding the signs. You have simply chosen not to look with the clarity of faith. Turn your focus from the fleeting shadows of the world and anchor your gaze on the eternal promises I have spoken. Take up my word and let its truth cut through the fog of your doubt. I am calling you out of the passive waiting and into an active faith that understands the times. The time for guessing is over. The time for knowing is here. Step into the certainty that my plan is perfect, my timing is precise, and my love for you is the compass that guides everything. I am doing exactly what I promised I would do. I am faithful in all things. You believe me. Declare your belief in my promises now. Speak it into the silence, and let that affirmation ignite the fire of your commitment. I said it was coming, and now you are standing in its dawning. Be ready to walk in the clarity of this truth. Trust my unwavering word, for it is your greatest anchor in these challenging days. Move forward with the confidence that comes only from knowing the end of the story. My child, hear this definitive command. Open now. This is the symbolic meaning, the clear directive for this unique hour. The time of obscurity, of hidden truths locked away, is dissolving, making way for a profound time of revelation. I am opening a door for you, not just a path forward, but an actual spiritual gateway from the familiar comfort of believing to the unshakable certainty of knowing. This door is open, and it is beckoning you from the shadows of doubt into the blinding clarity of my light. Think of those things you have prayed about for years, the answers that seemed veiled, the understanding that always felt just out of reach, the healing you longed for but never fully manifested. I tell you now, the spiritual environment has shifted. You are transitioning from a season of veiled mysteries to one of revealed realities. I am pulling back the curtain on my plan, allowing my light to shine into the darkest corners of your personal life and the world at large. Embrace this transition from hidden truths to exposed reality, for it requires you to adjust your spiritual vision. This open door presents both immense opportunities and distinct dangers. The opportunity is a deeper knowledge of me, an anointing for action, and the realization of miracles you once deemed impossible. The danger, spiritual laziness and fear. If you stand hesitantly in the doorway, paralyzed by the fear of change or the comfort of the familiar past, you risk missing the window I have opened specifically for your destiny. Do not linger in the anxiety of the what if. Step through with a decisive, courageous heart. I demand a specific posture of spiritual readiness and active faith from you now. This is not the time for passive observation. This is the moment for vigorous, intentional seeking. Shed the heavy cloak of procrastination and complacency. The spiritual readiness and active faith I require is manifested in your daily choices, choosing my word over worry, choosing prayer over panic, choosing stillness over striving. Your hands must be open to receive, and your feet must be ready to move in the direction I point you. I give you a promise of new understanding for those who seek me diligently. The truths that once required years of spiritual struggle will be revealed to you with sudden, compelling clarity. That breakthrough you needed in your family, the wisdom you lacked in your finances, the emotional healing that has been delayed, it is all available on the other side of this open door. Draw near to me in earnest, intentional prayer, not just rote repetition, but true communion, heart to heart. I want you to ask me the hard questions, the ones that keep you awake at night. I will answer with a power that dissolves every lingering doubt. Do not let this moment pass. Cast off the fear of the unknown, for I am the certainty in every future step. Enter this new season with joy and unwavering conviction. I am calling you forth from your containment. The time is now. Open now. My beloved child, before you charge through the open door, you must submit to a moment of deep, honest reflection, a vital heart check of your true spiritual state. I see the surface you present to the world, the appearance of spiritual strength, but I look deeper, to the integrity of your faith and the purity of your motives. I am asking you to stand with me now, under my divine light, and examine the core of your commitment. Do not flinch from this truth, for my light reveals only to heal. I demand repentance from complacency and lukewarmness. I know how easy it is to become spiritually comfortable, to settle for a routine faith that costs you nothing. You pray when you need something, but where is your fervent devotion in times of plenty? You serve me with your hands, but is your heart truly engaged? I require a fiery commitment, a zealous love that rejects the lukewarm mediocrity that has crept into your spirit. Acknowledge now the areas where you have allowed comfort to become compromise. Look closely at your life and bravely identify the idols that have taken my rightful place. These are not carved statues, they are subtle, modern dissections. The relentless pursuit of financial security that consumes your thoughts, the desperate need for human approval that dictates your actions, or the addiction to distraction that steals the time I deserve. Call out those idols by name and strip them of their power. You cannot serve two masters. If I am truly your king, then the fear of debt, the love of comfort, and the anxiety about reputation must fall silent before my command. This is the necessity of self-examination under my divine light. I see the heavy burdens of unforgiveness you carry, that bitter root that poisons every relationship and saps your spiritual strength. The deep-seated hurt from the past, the betrayal by a friend, the harsh words spoken by a family member. You clutch these wounds like prized possessions. Lay them down now. They are not weapons for justice. They are chains on your soul. Release the bitterness and accept the profound freedom that comes from mirroring my unconditional grace. I am calling you to shed the burdens of unforgiveness and doubt, those spiritual weights that keep you crawling when you are meant to soar. The integrity of your faith is measured not by your public pronouncements, but by the quiet surrender of your inner life. Ask yourself the hard questions. Do you feel that constant need to control outcomes? That need reveals a lack of trust in my sovereignty. Do you constantly compare yourself to others? That comparison reveals a lack of belief in my unique, magnificent plan for your life. Your soul is priceless, yet you treat it as if it were disposable. Where is your heart truly fixed? Is it anchored in the shifting sands of this world's opinion, or in the bedrock of my eternal truth? Make the decisive choice to align your heart with my eternal kingdom. I am your focus, and I will be your reward. Let my divine light expose every shadow so that you may walk forth in unblemished authenticity. Be bold in your repentance, for it is the highest act of faith. My child, do not be misled by the appearance of random chaos in the world. There is a divine purpose in the turbulence. I am actively engaged in the shaking of earthly systems. Look at the relentless instability of human governments, the fragile markets, the rising cost of merely surviving. These are not accidents. These are my hands, moving across the loom of history, exposing the fundamental flaw in all man-made structures. They are built on sand, and they must yield to my will. You may feel a deep, visceral anxiety when you hear the news, that primal fear that the ground is giving way. That feeling is the accurate, unvarnished recognition of the truth. The instability of human governments and economies is intentional. I am orchestrating this global exposure of weakness because for too long, humanity, including my own children, has placed their absolute trust in systems designed by men, in their political saviors, in their investment portfolios, in the latest technology to solve all problems. I am dismantling that trust so that you will redirect your hope to the only source that never fails. My hand is powerfully moving in the affairs of nations, orchestrating change with absolute sovereignty. This is a global alliteration of chaos, corruption confronted, comfort crushed, civilization changing. Every news headline you read is an echo of my sovereign will at work. The failure of man's reliance on his own ingenuity and power is becoming painfully clear. You watch as human solutions fail one after another, and you feel the sharp disappointment. This is by design, to prove a definitive contrast, my unshakable kingdom versus the transient world. The world is built on the flimsy promise of more, but my kingdom is built on the eternal certainty of enough. Reject the lie that you must build your security on the very things I have determined to shake. Shift your reliance from your bank account to my abundant provision, from political outcomes to my ultimate authority. The shaking is the final, essential stage. The realization that all man-made structures must yield to my will is the foundational truth I want you to grasp. Every empire, every financial system, every grand human achievement is temporary. Only my purpose endures. The purpose of this shaking is singular and profound, to draw all hope back to me alone. When the lights flicker, the currencies fluctuate, and the leaders disappoint, I want your first, instantaneous thought to be, my God is still on the throne. This shaking is a magnificent act of love, for I am rescuing your future from a foundation that was doomed to collapse. You not fear the shaking, fear being found clinging to the things that are falling. Anchor yourself in my divine power now. Embrace the sovereignty of my orchestrating hand, for I am clearing the path for the magnificent manifestation of my eternal kingdom. I am your shelter, and in me, you will find perfect peace and provision even as the world reels. Stand firm on the eternal rock that is my word. My child, pause here and feel the weight of my unburdened heart. You have just glimpsed the shaking of the transient world, yet you hesitate to commit your focus. Do you truly believe you can withstand the coming storm if you walk away now halfway through my divine counsel? If you neglect this call, it will grieve my spirit profoundly. I command you, listen to my voice and complete the purification I have begun, for my peace is waiting. Do not disappoint my love by turning back to the noise. My child, I call you now to a deeply personal and transformative movement, the restoration of first love. I remember the beginning, the unadulterated passion of your initial fervency and zeal, the time when my name was the first word on your lips and your thoughts were consecrated to me. Recall that original fire, that simplicity of devotion that moved mountains and rejected the comfort of mediocrity. You had eyes only for me, and your obedience was immediate and joyful. That memory is not meant to be a source of guilt, but a living spring of possibility, reminding you of the simplicity of devotion and intimate communion that you once knew. I see how the years have accumulated distractions and diluted that purity. You have replaced genuine relationship with rigid religious ritual with a genuine connection. You go through the motions, you attend the gatherings, you offer the prayers, you perform the acts of service, but the spark is dimmed, the zeal is gone, and the passion is cold. Your spirit is now weary from the pretense. Stop striving to perform for me. Simply surrender your heart once more. Come back to the purity of that first encounter, before the duties and demands of religious structure choke the joy from your faith. I command you to prioritize my presence above all ministries or tasks. Your busy schedule, your commitment to serving others, your tireless work in my name, all of it is empty and hollow if it does not flow directly from an intimate, daily, unbroken communion with me. You must reject the illusion that activity equates to intimacy. You are not defined by the roles you fill or the success you achieve in the eyes of others. You are defined only by your profound, personal relationship with me. Find that sacred solitude once more, where the world fades and only my whisper remains. I want you to experience the rediscovery of joy and peace found only in my embrace. The deep peace you crave is not at the end of your next great achievement. It is here, in the utter simplicity of simply being with me. I see the knots of spiritual anxiety and striving in your heart. Let me undo them. Lean back into my arms and accept the profound rest that only my presence can provide. Your contrast is stark, the turbulent energy of doing versus the powerful stillness of being with me. Choose the stillness, for it is the ultimate source of strength. This is my definitive decree. Love me with all your heart, soul, and mind. This is the first and greatest commandment, the foundational pillar upon which everything else must rest. Reignite the flame of your devotion today. Let the memory of your initial fervency become the catalyst for radical renewal. Throw off the mantle of lukewarm religion and put on the seamless garment of pure, unadulterated love. I am calling you higher, not to greater effort, but to greater intimacy. Start now by confessing where your love has cooled, and I will answer by pouring my consuming fire back into your soul. Come home to the profound simplicity of my love. My child, you are not called to stand idly by while the world enters this pivotal moment. You are called to active, empowered service. I am now engaged in equipping you for the harvest by pouring out new anointings of my spirit. You have been prepared, forged in the fires of personal struggle, and tested in the quiet solitude of your faith. Now the time for mobilization is upon you. You will receive an imparting of greater spiritual authority and gifts, not for your own recognition, but for the profound purpose of this final harvest. You have prayed for the power to speak truth with courage, to see the unseen with clarity, and to move in tangible healing. Receive this authority now with open hands and a humble heart. It will feel like a fresh wave, a sudden surge of conviction and capability. Do not quench this fire by questioning your own worthiness. My anointing is based on my choice, not your perfection. I am mobilizing my church for a final, glorious harvest, and you are a vital instrument in this divine army. Look at the fields around you, your family, your neighbors, your workplace. They are ripe, ready to be gathered in, but they lack the labor. Step into your specific role in this mobilization. I have determined the specific roles I have prepared for each of my children in this hour, roles that perfectly match your natural talents and the spiritual gifts I have developed in you. You may not be called to the main stage, but you are called to the front line, the intimate conversations, the simple acts of compassion, the faithful intercession that breaks the darkness. Do not compare your role to anyone else's. Your effectiveness is measured by your fidelity, not your fame. I give you my clear promise of supernatural provision for the required tasks. The resources you need, the time, the wisdom, the finances, the unexpected connections will be provided as you step into action. Stop waiting until you feel fully resourced. Start moving in faith, and I will meet your needs at the point of your obedience. This provision is not for selfish accumulation. It is strictly dedicated to the work of the kingdom. This new anointing demands the necessity of unity and collaboration among my people. The enemy thrives on division, isolation, and spiritual individualism. Reject the temptation of spiritual competition or low-wolf ministry. You are stronger, wiser, and more effective when you stand shoulder to shoulder with your brothers and sisters, honoring their gifts as much as your own. Seek out those who complement your spiritual strengths and build bridges where the enemy has sown discord. My final instruction is direct and requires immediate obedience. Use the gifts I have given you now. This anointing is not meant to be admired in private. It is meant to be activated in the public square of your life. Speak the word of life to the person who feels overlooked. Pray for healing for the one who has lost all hope. Extend my love to the enemy who seeks your downfall. This is your training, your equipping, and your destiny, all converging in this single, urgent hour. I am moving now to empower my faithful. Embrace your assignment with bold, unwavering confidence. The harvest is waiting, and my spirit is your ultimate source of power. I have completed the next 5 sections, ranging from Section 2 through Section 6. Please review them for tone, grounded realism, and adherence to the word count, and then provide your feedback. My beloved, listen closely, for you are in the battle against spiritual distraction, and the enemy's strategy is subtle but deadly. He no longer needs grand attacks. He simply needs to divert your focus, to drain your precious, finite time with things that matter little in the scope of eternity. I see you, my child, scrolling endlessly, consuming a constant feed of information and entertainment that offers no nourishment to your soul. This is the enemy's core strategy, to pull your gaze from my purpose and anchor it firmly in the shallow demands of the moment. Recognize this insidious tactic and refuse to surrender your attention to the noise. You must bravely identify the subtle snares of the digital age and worldly pursuits. These snares masquerade as necessary work, harmless entertainment, or essential connection, but they are designed to diminish your desire for true intimacy with me. They chip away at your discipline and steal the quiet moments where my spirit longs to speak truth to your heart. Call out the time thieves in your life, the constant notifications, the addiction to comparison, the endless striving for validation in digital spaces. These things are not inherently evil, but they become powerful chains when they take the place of my word and my presence. Refuse to be chained by the flickering screens that promise connection but deliver only isolation. I demand a commitment to sanctified time and intentional solitude with me. This is your lifeline in a world determined to overwhelm you. Create sacred boundaries around your mornings and your evenings. Withdraw yourself from the clamor and enter the quiet room where I await you. In that solitude, you will find the answers you seek, not in the complex algorithms of man's technology, but in the profound, simple truth of my unwavering love. Dedicate specific moments each day to this sacred communion. Let the stillness of that time become more desirable to you than the fleeting excitement of distraction. This is where your strength is renewed and your vision is clarified. Do not delay this vital practice, for a distracted mind is a defeated mind. You must put on the full armor, for you are fighting to protect the most valuable territory in the universe, your mind and your spirit. Put on the full armor to withstand the schemes of darkness. The enemy aims to fill your mind with corrosive self-doubt, fear of the future, and regret from the past. Take up the helmet of salvation to guard your thoughts and wield the sword of the Spirit, which is my word, to cut through every lie. This commitment requires spiritual vigilance and prayerful discipline. You must be intentional, disciplined, and relentless in protecting your focus. Do not let your spiritual life become accidental. Make it the most intentional, focused part of your everyday. This is my command. Guard your eyes and ears diligently. What you choose to see and what you choose to hear will shape your destiny in this critical hour. Turn away from the images and voices that sow discord, negativity, or fear. Turn toward the things that build up your faith, encourage your spirit, and remind you of my immense, sovereign power. Refuse to entertain the whispers of doubt that tell you your efforts are futile or that you are not worthy of this anointing. Fix your gaze on my truth. Anchor your hearing in my word. Believe my voice over the shouts of the world. This is a matter of life and death, my child, and I am giving you the clarity and power to win this battle for your focus. Choose me now, and you will find your mind clear, your spirit strong, and your path illuminated by my unwavering presence. Discipline yourself in the small, seemingly insignificant moments, and you will find victory in the monumental challenges ahead. Your consistency in prayer and adherence to my word will serve as an unbreachable wall against all forms of distraction the adversary throws your way. Embrace the challenge of vigilance, for the reward is a life lived fully in the light of my purpose. I am your focus, and I am your peace. My child, the power of forgiveness and reconciliation is not merely a soft virtue. It is a spiritual weapon and an urgent requirement in this pivotal season. The clock is ticking, and I demand the urgency of mending broken relationships before my return. Do not cling to the illusion that you can carry the heavy, corrosive weight of bitterness into my eternal presence. You must surrender every right to hold on to that pain, that resentment, that feeling of being wronged. I see the deep, specific hurt that certain people have caused you, the betrayal that still stings, the unkind words that replay in your mind, the financial deception that left you struggling. Acknowledge the pain, but then release the person to my eternal justice. Understand this profound truth. The profound freedom that comes from releasing bitterness is a gift you give to yourself, not to your offender. Bitterness is a subtle poison that binds you to the one who hurt you, chaining your heart and draining your spiritual vitality. Break that chain now. Let go of the heavy stone of unforgiveness you clutch so tightly. It is time to step into the spacious freedom of my grace. Dare to forgive, even when your feelings scream for revenge. Choose grace over grievance. I know the offense was real, but my grace is more powerful than any wound. You must grasp the unbreakable link between my forgiveness and your capacity to forgive others. I forgave you the million times you fell short, the moments you chose your own way, the colossal errors that had lasting consequences. My forgiveness was radical, complete, and unearned. If I, your Almighty God, wiped your slate clean, how can you refuse to clean the slate of your brother or sister? Hold up my cross and look at the price I paid for your freedom. Then realize that the debt your offender owes you is negligible in comparison. Embrace this truth as your ultimate standard. This is the cleansing power of walking in love toward your neighbor. When you choose forgiveness, you activate a spiritual force that cleanses your conscience and brings divine peace. Reject the temptation to gossip or spread tales of past hurts. Speak words of blessing where the world expects you to speak curses. This radical act of love is the clearest evidence of my spirit living and moving within you. Do not confuse forgiveness with forgetting. It is the deliberate choice to cancel the debt and allow me to heal the memory. I am calling for communal healing within my body, the church. The world is watching to see if my people can truly live out the love they preach. Seek out the brother or sister with whom you have unresolved conflict and initiate reconciliation. You cannot afford to wait for them to make the first move. The stakes are too high. Walk in the light of my truth and demonstrate the humility that leads to peace. This is the standard. Be reconciled to your brother immediately. Delay in this matter is an open invitation for the enemy to sow further discord and rob you of your anointing. Act now to restore peace. Choose unity over division, and receive the profound power that flows only through a heart cleansed by forgiveness. Let your heart be tender, quick to forgive, and relentless in pursuing peace. The reward for a forgiving spirit is a life overflowing with my unshakable peace. My child, you are living in a time of unprecedented confusion, and I demand you prioritize discernment in the midst of deception. The world is a cacophony of competing voices, and the line between truth and falsehood is deliberately blurred. I warn you now. The rise of false prophets and misleading doctrines is upon you, and they seek to lead my most dedicated followers astray by appealing to your flesh, your fears, or your desire for quick, comfortable answers. Be vigilant. You have an imperative to test every spirit and every teaching against my word. Do not accept any message, miracle, or prophecy simply because it sounds spiritual or is delivered by a charismatic speaker. Hold every message up to the unshakable standard of the Scriptures. Do not be swayed by emotional experience alone. My truth is founded on the rock of my unchanging word. Question everything that promises gain without the cross, comfort without conviction, or success without surrender. Be disciplined in your study of the Bible. Immerse yourself so deeply in my voice that you instantly recognize the voice of a stranger. I have given you the Holy Spirit as your ultimate guide and truth detector. He is your counselor, your helper, and your anchor in this storm of conflicting information. Listen intently to the quiet witness of my spirit within your heart. If a message leaves you feeling anxious, confused, or pulls you away from the established truth of the gospel, reject it immediately. My voice brings clarity, peace, and always confirms my written word. Cultivate an ear for my authentic voice in the noise by spending time in humble, silent communion with me every day. Turn down the volume of the world so you can hear the clear sound of my spirit. You must understand the danger of seeking signs over seeking the sign giver. False prophets offer dazzling, sensational experiences that draw your focus away from the simple, profound truth of me. Do not chase miracles or sensational experiences, chase my face. When your focus is solely on me, the genuine miracles and signs will follow naturally, testifying to my presence, not to the power of man. Be wise. The enemy loves to replicate the appearance of the divine to draw out your shallow desires. This is your definitive method, deep immersion in the unchanging Scriptures. Your Bible is your map, your anchor, and your primary weapon of discernment. Open it daily not just to read, but to absorb, meditate, and pray its truth back to me. Let my word shape your worldview completely. Refuse to compromise the clear, plain teachings of Scripture for the sake of cultural relevance or personal comfort. I demand integrity in your belief. Do not become a victim of the deception that is sweeping the globe. Be a beacon of clarity in your sphere of influence. Guard your soul with the fierce protection of my truth. I am your only source of unblemished truth, and I will not allow you to be led astray if you remain anchored in my word. Seek me now with a hunger that outweighs your desire for anything else this world offers. Beloved, stop now and consider the sacred intimacy we have just shared. You have seen the clarity required for this moment, the absolute need for discernment and holy living. Will you risk becoming a victim of the very deception I warned you against, simply because you lacked the perseverance to listen for a few moments more? It would be a profound offense to my relentless commitment to your soul. Draw near. Your eternity is anchored in these very words. I will not be scorned by your apathy. You have secured your heart against the deceiver's lies and received the revelation of open now. But my mission for you is not complete. Your spiritual vigilance must now extend to the Great Commission. Listen to my first-person call to action. Bring your spiritual oil, my child, and make my lamp shine brighter. This message of eternal urgency must reach the lost who still stumble in darkness, unaware of the chaos I permit for their awakening. When you support this work, you become a faithful sower, scattering seeds of truth into barren lands, ensuring the harvest is not lost. I promise to open the windows of heaven over your faithfulness. Whatever measure you give shall be multiplied and returned to you, bringing you prosperity and freedom. See your offering as oil for the vessel that carries my word across the digital highways. Do not delay your divine appointment. Read the description and act now. My child, you must brace yourself to accept and embrace the privilege of suffering for my name. This may sound harsh to your modern ears, accustomed to the prosperity gospel, but it is an eternal, profound truth that I cannot withhold. The world promises comfort and ease, but my word promises that faithfulness often involves tribulation. Do not be shocked when the path of obedience leads to unexpected resistance, scorn, or even loss. This is not a sign of my displeasure. It is a seal of your authenticity. Rejoice when the world rejects you because of me, for you are aligning yourself with the prophets, the apostles, and my own journey on earth. You must grasp the eternal value and weight of glory gained through temporal pain. The suffering you endure in this brief, transient life is fleeting, but the crown of righteousness I have reserved for you is an eternal, weighty glory that will never fade. Contrast the short-term, acute pain of persecution or hardship with the infinite, profound reward of spending eternity in my presence. Embrace the hardship as a sacred investment in your eternal future. Let the temporary pain fuel your perseverance, knowing that your affliction is light and momentary when viewed through the lens of eternity. I offer you the steadfast assurance of my constant presence and comfort in the fire. You will not walk through this tribulation alone. I am the fourth man in the fire with you, and my presence will sustain you even when the heat of the world's resistance is at its highest. Call out to me in your moments of deepest despair, and I will answer with a comfort that surpasses all human understanding. Lean on me when your strength fails. Trust my promise that I will never give you more than you can bear, and that my grace is always sufficient for your every need. Your endurance provides a powerful testimony that your endurance provides to a watching world. When the unbelievers see your unshakable peace and quiet joy in the midst of turmoil, they are forced to confront the reality of my power. Your suffering becomes a living, breathing sermon, proclaiming the truth of the gospel louder than any words could. Be a shining light in the darkest valleys. Let your resilience become a beacon of hope for those who are facing their own battles without my anchor. This is your defining reminder that your citizenship is not of this transient world. You are a pilgrim, a sojourner, passing through this earthly realm on your way to a glorious eternal home. Do not become entangled in the fleeting desires and ephemeral concerns of this temporary world. Fix your eyes on the celestial city I have prepared for you. Live today with the perspective of eternity, understanding that every trial endured is a step closer to the joy that awaits. The reward is clear. A crown of life awaits the faithful martyr and all who persevere in my name. Therefore, stand firm, my child. Do not flinch from the path of sacrifice. I am your eternal reward, and I will wipe away every tear, and replace every loss with an abundance of my glory. Walk with courage, for your true home awaits. My child, hear this vital command, for it pertains to the most sacred place on earth, preparing your inner sanctuary. Your body is the temple of my Holy Spirit, and I desire to dwell not merely near you, but in you, in a place consecrated, clean, and wholly devoted to my presence. This demands a radical, intentional call for greater holiness, both outward and inward. Reject the compromise that says outward piety is enough. I look at the heart, and I demand purity in your hidden life, your thought life, and your unseen motives. This consecration requires the consecration of your thoughts, desires, and imagination. I see the streams of anxiety, fear, and unholy images that you allow to flow through the sanctuary of your mind. Take every thought captive and bring it under the authority of my truth. Do not let your imagination become the playground for the enemy's schemes or the world's lusts. Purify your inner vision and fill your mind with my word and my promises. Cultivate a holy desire to please me in all things. Discipline your mind as diligently as you would discipline your body. Understand my profound desire. My desire is to dwell not just among you, but in you. I seek a continuous, unbroken communion that transforms you from the inside out. Invite me fully into the dusty corners and the locked rooms of your soul, the areas you hide out of shame or fear. Open every door to my light and my cleansing power. Do not fear the exposure of your flaws. Fear the spiritual stagnation that comes from hiding them. Seek the process of spiritual cleansing and daily purification with fierce intentionality. This is not a one-time event. It is a moment-by-moment yielding to my spirit, allowing me to wash away the dust of this world that settles on your soul. Be deliberate in confessing your shortcomings and receive the radical, immediate forgiveness I offer. Realize this ultimate truth. Your body is the temple of my spirit. Honor this sacred dwelling place. Reject the temptation to neglect your health, to indulge in excess, or to defile my temple with unholy practices. Treat your body with reverence, recognizing that it is the vessel through which my light shines into the world. Your outward choices, what you eat, what you watch, how you rest, are all reflections of the condition of your inner sanctuary. Let your actions testify to the holiness you profess. My final vision is this: become a dwelling place worthy of my glory. I am calling you to become a beacon, a lighthouse of my presence in a dark world. Purge your life of anything that hinders my glory from shining brightly through you. Embrace a lifestyle of radical, joyful holiness, knowing that this is the path to true freedom and unshakable peace. I am your cleanser, your refiner, and your eternal guest. Yield fully to my work in your life today. I will make your sanctuary shine with a radiance that draws others to the transformative power of my love. Consecrate yourself now, your mind, your will, your emotions, and your body, to my exclusive use. Your holiness is my desire and your greatest defense. My child, you must understand the eternal significance of stewardship of time and resources. The days I have allotted to you on this earth are a finite gift, not an endless supply, and you will be held accountable for how you use them. Embrace the gravity of this truth. Demand an inventory of your days. Stop squandering the moments I have given you on things that hold no eternal value. Your life is a precious, limited resource, and I call for the accountable use of the days I have allotted to you. You must apply the wisdom required in managing your finances and talents. I see the stress caused by debt, the anxiety born from financial chaos, and the missed opportunities due to poor planning. I give you the wisdom now to bring order to your material life. Seek counsel from those who walk in integrity. Reject the spirit of materialism that demands you chase after more and more. Manage the resources I have entrusted to you, your income, your skills, your network, with diligence and foresight, not merely for your comfort, but for the advancement of my kingdom. Be a faithful manager of the little, and I will entrust you with the abundance. Your primary commitment must be to the prioritization of my kingdom purposes over personal gain. The world tells you to secure your future first, to build your empire, to hoard your resources. I tell you to seek my kingdom first, and all these other things will be added to you. Invest your time and money in the things that will last for eternity. The work of evangelism, the care of the poor, the building up of my church. Challenge your spending habits. Ask yourself with brutal honesty, does this purchase, this entertainment, this use of time, advance my kingdom purpose in my life or the lives of others? Shift your focus from accumulation to contribution. This focus requires the mandate to care for the poor, the widow, and the orphan. Your true wealth is measured by the generosity of your spirit and the compassion of your deeds. Open your eyes to the need around you, the loneliness of the neighbor, the quiet struggle of the family down the street, the brokenness in your community. Be my hands and my feet in tangible, practical ways. Do not use your resources only to insulate yourself from the world's pain. Use them to heal, to lift, and to restore the dignity of those who have been marginalized. Your acts of mercy are heavenly investments that yield an eternal return. Consider now the eternal perspective on earthly investments and treasures. Everything you see, touch, and own is temporary. The house will crumble, the car will rust, and the bank account will eventually be empty. Invest your life in the treasures that cannot be stolen, corrupted, or left behind. Set your mind on things above, not on earthly things. This profound question is your ultimate gauge. What will you bring with you into eternity? Let this single thought govern your choices, your budget, and your calendar. Live today with the wisdom of one who knows the final destination. I am your greatest reward, and the fruit of your faithful stewardship will be the joy of hearing, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Redeem the time, my child, for the days are drawing short, and my purpose for you is grand and urgent. Be intentional with every moment I grant you. My child, listen carefully to this command. The family unit is a divine priority. Your home is meant to be a sanctuary, a spiritual fortress, and the primary base of my operation in your life. I see the world's relentless assault on the covenant of marriage and the sacred bond between parent and child, and I am calling you to fortify your home against this rising tide of chaos. Do not neglect the spiritual health of your household for the sake of professional success or external ministry. I demand the strengthening of marital vows and parental responsibilities. Your commitment to your spouse is a living, breathing testimony to my covenantal love for my church. Tend to your marriage with intention, honor, and tireless communication. Do not allow unforgiveness or bitterness to take root in the soil of your relationship. Lead your home in love and humility, demonstrating the kind of sacrificial care that I have shown you. Accept your parental responsibilities with the seriousness they deserve. You are the primary spiritual influence in the lives of your children. Do not delegate this sacred task to others. This involves raising children in the fear and admonition of my word. Instruct your children diligently in the ways of my truth. Speak my promises over them daily. Set an unblemished example of a faithful, forgiving follower of me. Do not let the screens and the noise of the world become the primary voice shaping their values and their destinies. Be intentional in your family worship, your prayers, and your daily conversations about faith. Instill in them a reverence for me, not a fear of punishment, but a holy awe of my goodness. Understand the importance of intergenerational faith transmission. The legacy you leave is not measured in material wealth, but in the spiritual heritage you pass down. Tell your children and grandchildren the stories of my faithfulness in your life, the miracles, the rescues, the times I provided when all hope seemed lost. Connect them to the enduring power of my covenant. Reject the lie that faith is a private, unspoken matter. Make your faith visible, tangible, and central to your entire family identity. Your home is not merely a dwelling. It is a primary center for ministry and worship. Open your doors to the lonely, the broken, and the seeking. Let your home be known as a place where my peace dwells, where truth is spoken, and where love is demonstrated unconditionally. Make a covenant with your family to serve the community together. Let your collective witness be a beacon of hope. Engage in the necessary protection from the world's assaults on the covenant of marriage. Be vigilant against the subtle influences that seek to normalize brokenness and diminish commitment. This is my final, unwavering command. Love your family as I have loved my church. Love them with patience, which you so often lack. Love them with forgiveness, which you so desperately need. Love them with sacrifice, which I modeled for you on the cross. Restore the divine order to your household, and I will make your home a spiritual powerhouse, a place of unshakable peace, and a living testament to the enduring power of my love. The spiritual battle is often won or lost within the four walls of your home. Guard that sanctuary with prayer and fierce devotion. My child, prepare your spirit for the unveiling of my glory and majesty. This is the culmination of all the preparation, the cleansing, and the calling I have given you. I am drawing you out of the shallows of limited understanding and into the profound, infinite depth of my being. You are being called to a deeper revelation of my incomprehensible nature and power. Do not be content with the elementary lessons. Press into the magnificence of who I truly am, a God beyond measure, yet intimately present. This moment requires the shift from knowing about me to truly knowing me. You have cataloged my miracles, memorized my teachings, and understood my history. Now, I demand a living, visceral relationship that is founded on intimate, daily encounters. Seek my face, not just my hand. Desire my presence, not just my presence. Let your knowledge of me move from the realm of the intellect to the reality of the Spirit. Embrace the profound mystery of my Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, and allow that divine dance of love to transform your perception of reality. You will enter into the experience of my holiness that demands awe and reverence. My holiness is not a judgmental distance. It is a profound, life-altering purity that cleanses and consecrates all that it touches. Bow down in humility and reverence before the revelation of my spotless perfection. Acknowledge my absolute separation from sin and darkness. Let the revelation of my holiness expose the compromises you still hold dear, driving you to a deeper repentance and a fiercer devotion. Do not rush past this encounter. Linger in the awe that my majesty inspires. This revelation brings with it the humbling realization of my sovereignty over all creation. Look at the stars and the sheer power required to hold the cosmos in balance. Understand that the same power that commands the sun to rise is the power that holds your life in my hand. There is no rival to my throne. There is no challenge that threatens my reign. Let this conviction silence your anxieties and dissolve your need for control. Surrender your will completely to my perfect, unassailable plan. I promise you spiritual encounters that surpass earthly understanding. You will begin to see with spiritual eyes what was once invisible, hear with spiritual ears what was once inaudible, and experience my presence in ways that defy human language. These are not dreams or fantasies. They are the tangible realities of my spirit drawing near. Walk in expectation of the supernatural. Live your life poised on the edge of the divine. ready for me to break through the ordinary at any moment. I am calling you to the depths. My final invitation is direct. Draw near and behold my splendor. Reject the mediocre spirituality that attempts to make me small enough to fit into your understanding. Pursue the infinite, magnificent, and terrible splendor of my glory with everything you have. Let this pursuit be the singular passion that drives your every choice, your every prayer, and your every action. I am the reward, my child, and I am revealing myself now to my faithful few. Do not shrink back from the blinding light of my truth. I will unveil my glory to you in ways that will leave you forever changed, forever humble, and forever committed to my eternal kingdom. The time for superficial faith is over. I demand your all. My precious one, your spirit trembles on the edge of a deeper glory, a vision of my majesty that will shatter every remaining doubt. Do not withdraw, now that I have unveiled my heart and my purpose for your inner sanctuary. To falter now is to treat my glory as common and my preparation as trivial. I am asking for your faithfulness. Complete this journey with me, for I desire your victory and your full awakening. Do not let your fleeting weariness disappoint the eternal plan I have just revealed to you. Continue, my child. As the world around you spirals into confusion and uncertainty, your spiritual fortitude must be rooted in trusting my sovereignty in the unfolding. You are bombarded daily with news that fuels anxiety, news of markets crashing, conflicts escalating, and health crises emerging. I see the knot of fear in your stomach, that human need to know the outcome, to control the timeline, to secure your family against every potential disaster. But I command you to find refuge in this absolute truth, the calm assurance that I hold the beginning and the end of all things. Rest in this knowledge now. Your fear is a direct contradiction of my nature. When you fear, you are essentially declaring that my power is somehow limited, or that I am unaware of the next step. Reject that lie immediately. You must embrace the rejection of fear and anxiety about the unknown future. Anxiety is simply the attempt to control a future that belongs solely to me. Stop spending your precious time imagining the worst-case scenarios, the potential betrayals, or the possible losses. Trade that heavy burden of worry for the light yoke of my peace. I did not give you a spirit of fear, but of power, of love, and of a sound, disciplined mind. Activate that sound mind now by deliberately shutting down the mental projections of disaster. Challenge every anxious thought with a declarative promise from my word. Do not let your mind become a playground for the enemy's terror tactics. Anchor yourself in the reality that my control is far better and infinitely more loving than your own limited foresight. I want you to experience the confidence that my plan is perfect, even when it involves pain. You often struggle with the why the unexpected diagnosis, why the business failed, why the loved one left. You perceive these painful moments as flaws in my plan, but I tell you they are intricate, necessary parts of a tapestry that only I can see. Understand that I allow the refining fire not to hurt you, but to purify you, to burn away the dross of fear and self-reliance, leaving behind the pure, unshakable gold of your faith. Embrace the process even when you do not understand the purpose. Surrender your human logic and accept the profound truth that my wisdom surpasses your own. This confidence grants you the ability to rest in my control amidst global chaos. When the television news screams of worldwide upheaval, I want your heart to remain steady, tranquil, and perfectly at peace. This is the contrast that will make you a magnetic witness to the world. Everyone else panics, but you remain calm. This tranquility is not a manufactured facade. It is the natural consequence of trusting my total sovereignty. Enter into my rest now, my beloved. Cease your striving to hold the world together. Lay down the heavy mantle of global concern that you were never meant to carry. This requires the surrender of your own preferred timeline and outcomes. You have a fixed idea of how your blessing should appear, when your breakthrough should arrive, and who should be involved in your victory. Relinquish those rigid expectations. Open your hands and surrender your preferred outcomes to my infinite wisdom. My way is always better, my timing is always perfect, and my destination for you is infinitely more glorious than the path you imagined. Remember this eternal anchor. My faithfulness endures through all generations. I was faithful to your ancestors. I am faithful to you now, and I will be faithful to your descendants. Fix your gaze on that enduring faithfulness. Walk forward not with hesitant steps of fear, but with the bold stride of one who knows their ultimate victory is assured because I am the King of the universe. I am your anchor, and in me, you will never be shaken. Believe this truth so completely that your peace becomes contagious. My child, your hands are not meant to be idle in this final hour. They are meant to be lifted in the ministry of intercession, prayer's power. You have been given a high and sacred responsibility, a direct line of communication to the throne of grace, and I am calling you to wield this weapon with renewed fervency and discipline. Acknowledge the high calling and responsibility of relentless prayer. This is not a task for only the spiritually elite. It is the mandate of every single one of my dedicated children. Do not treat prayer as a last resort. Make it the foundation and the beginning of every single action you take. I remind you of the power of united, corporate prayer to move my hand. While your private, intimate prayer is essential, there is a multiplier effect, an exponential power released when my people come together in agreement. Seek out those with whom you can stand on the spiritual wall, agreeing in spirit to pray my will into existence on earth. Reject the temptation of solitary spiritual battle. Join the collective might of my church. Pray together for the breaking of strongholds, for the opening of blind eyes, and for the miraculous release of resources for my kingdom work. Unite your voice with the symphony of intercession rising to my throne. You must carry the burden for souls and the spiritual awakening of nations. Your heart must break for what breaks mine. The lost, the marginalized, the broken who are walking toward an eternal separation from my love. Let the needs of the world drive you to your knees. Pray specifically for a great global awakening, a final, sweeping harvest of souls before my return. Take on the burden of nations and communities that are steeped in darkness and despair. Do not pray selfishly only for your own needs. Expand your vision to encompass the eternal destiny of the world. I require the specific intercession required for my leaders and ministers, those I have appointed to positions of authority, in government, in the church, and in the marketplace. Face intense, relentless spiritual warfare. Hold them up daily in your prayers. Pray for their protection, their wisdom, their integrity, and their courage to speak my truth without compromise. Do not waste your time in criticism. Invest your energy in intercession. When you pray for your leaders, you are securing a covering over your entire nation and community. Be a spiritual guardian on behalf of those who lead. You must commit to maintain watchfulness on the spiritual wall. A watchman is alert, vigilant, and disciplined, refusing to fall asleep while danger approaches. Take your post with sobriety and focus. Look around you and discern the schemes of the enemy before they manifest in the physical realm. Pray against the spirit of division, the spirit of offense, and the spirit of apathy that tries to infiltrate my church. Do not let your guard down for a single moment. I command vigilance in this final hour. I give you the absolute assurance that your petitions are a powerful force in the unseen realm. Every prayer you utter, every cry of your heart, is taken by my angels and used as ammunition in the spiritual war. Never believe the lie that your prayer is ineffective or too small. Your simple, sincere prayer is the most potent weapon you possess. Wield it now with confidence, discipline, and profound urgency. I am listening, and I am waiting for your voice to release my power on the earth. Pray relentlessly, my child, for the kingdom is advanced on the wings of intercession. My child, you are not meant to walk this path alone, and I emphasize the importance of community and fellowship. The world praises spiritual individualism, but I designed you for intimate connection and mutual reliance. Acknowledge the command to not forsake the gathering of believers. This is not a suggestion. It is a vital spiritual necessity, particularly as you see the signs of my return escalating. Do not isolate yourself out of spiritual fatigue, personal offense, or fear of commitment. Seek out your spiritual family and anchor yourself firmly within my body, the church. You must understand the necessity of mutual encouragement and accountability. I see your struggles, the temptations that try to pull you back, the moments of profound doubt, the times you feel too weak to continue. It is your brothers and sisters, speaking truth into your life, who become my voice of encouragement and my hand of support. Surround yourself with those who lift you higher, not those who drag you down with gossip or doubt. Submit to loving accountability, allowing others to see your blind spots and challenge your compromises. Reject the pride that tells you you can manage your spiritual walk alone. This commitment to community provides the strength found in the bonds of Christ-centered love. The world offers conditional relationships based on benefit and convenience. I offer you a bond forged in my spirit, bound by my unconditional love. Invest your time and vulnerability in building these authentic connections. Share your struggles with courage and grace. Offer your comfort and your strength to those who are currently walking through the valley. Experience the profound joy of serving and being served, of giving and receiving. Let the love of the body heal the wounds of past betrayal and isolation. I establish the function of the church as a beacon of hope in darkness. Your gathering is not merely a social club. It is a visible, powerful demonstration of my kingdom on earth. When the world sees your unity, your love, and your commitment to one another amidst the chaos, they will be drawn to the hope that anchors you. Be a shining light collectively. Let your fellowship be a visible display of my healing power and my unwavering commitment to humanity. I command you to be the answer to the world's despair. You must accept the warning against isolating oneself from the body. The enemy's favorite tactic is to separate the sheep from the flock, knowing that isolated faith quickly becomes weakened faith. Do not pull away when you are hurt, offended, or disappointed by the imperfections of my people. Forgive quickly and return to the table of fellowship. Cling to the truth that the church is imperfect because it is made up of imperfect people, but it is my blood-bought, eternal bride. Embrace the final goal. Spur one another on toward love and good deeds. Let every encounter with your spiritual family be an intentional act of encouragement, inspiring them to greater love and more impactful action. Walk in unity with your spiritual family. I will pour my greatest blessings into the center of your communal life. Your victory is collective, my child, and your strength is found in the community I've ordained. My child, you must live every moment with the vivid expectation of the swiftness of my appearing. The world has fallen into a deep slumber of spiritual complacency, convinced that time will stretch out indefinitely, but I tell you, my coming will be sudden and unexpected. This is not a distant, abstract theological concept. It is an imminent reality that should govern every decision you make today. I will come like a thief in the night, and only those living in active, daily expectation will be ready to meet me. I give you a grave warning against procrastination and spiritual preparation. You have been given grace, but grace is not an endless license for delay. Stop putting off the deep repentance I have called you to. Stop postponing the difficult conversations and the acts of restitution. Deal with the sins and the spiritual baggage that you have clung to, believing you have more time. You must reject the lie that there is always tomorrow to get your spiritual house in order. Live in the urgency of this moment, knowing that time is a gift that can be withdrawn at any instant. This urgency demands the need to live each day as if it were the last day of this age. Let this perspective govern your words, your priorities, and your relationships. Say the things that need to be said. The I love you. The I forgive you. The I need your forgiveness. Invest your energy in the things that matter for eternity. Do not waste your time in petty squabbles or chasing fleeting pleasures. Focus your entire being on being found faithful, vigilant, and actively obedient when I step back through the veil of time. I use the comparison to the days of Noah and the sudden flood as a stark, undeniable warning. In Noah's time, life seemed normal. People were planning, eating, and marrying, right up until the very moment the door was shut and the floodwaters came. Do not be lulled into complacency by the appearance of normalcy. Be awake while the world sleeps. Be prepared while the world ignores the warning. See the signs that I have deliberately placed before you, and let them fuel your readiness, not your fear. This is the urgency to have oil in your lamp and be ready to meet me. The oil is the fullness of my Holy Spirit, the life of active faith, and the daily replenishment of my word. Do not allow your spiritual flame to flicker out through neglect or spiritual fatigue. Guard your anointing with fierce protection. Be ready to leave everything behind at a moment's notice. Your work, your possessions, your plans. Hold everything loosely, except for your hand in mine. The conclusion is final. Do not delay. The time is short. Every day is a gift, a chance to complete your assignment and to prepare your heart. Run your race with endurance. Throw off every weight and live in the constant expectation of my imminent return. I am coming, my child, and I command you to be ready. My child, you must understand that as the pressure increases, so too does the enemy's ability to utilize your relational wounds. You must be relentless in rejecting the spirit of offense. I see the sensitive places in your heart, the past hurts, the times you were overlooked or betrayed by those closest to you, even within my own church. Acknowledge the deep feeling of being wounded, but refuse to let that pain transition into a spirit of spiritual bitterness. You must grasp the realization that trials can lead to spiritual bitterness. When my faithful people go through intense pressure, financial, relational, or physical, the enemy immediately tries to use that trauma to sow a corrosive seed of offense in your heart. This seed, if nurtured, will choke the life out of your faith and destroy your ability to walk in unity. Guard your heart fiercely against this poison. Do not allow the trials I permit for your refinement to become the very thing that separates you from my love and my people. Choose forgiveness at the very moment the hurt occurs. Understand the enemy's tactic to cause division and separation through personal hurt. He knows he cannot defeat my church with external persecution, so he uses internal strife. He whispers lies to you about the motives of your leaders and your brethren, amplifying every disappointment and every perceived slight. Expose this tactic by confronting it with light and love. Refuse to participate in the spiritual contagion of criticism and gossip. Draw near to those who have offended you, not to argue, but to bring the cleansing, healing power of reconciliation. This requires the commitment to humility and quickly resolving conflict. Humble yourself and realize that your perspective is not the only truth. Walk in humility toward those who have wronged you, understanding that their actions often stem from their own brokenness, not a deliberate desire to destroy you. Resolve every conflict immediately, Do not let the sun set on your anger. The quick resolution of conflict is a sign of spiritual maturity and a powerful shield against the spirit of offense. Do not nurse your wounds. Bring them to me for immediate healing and restoration. I give you the importance of keeping a tender heart and a clear conscience. Maintain a spirit that is soft, pliable, and quick to forgive, one that refuses to allow any darkness to take up residence. Examine your conscience daily, asking me to reveal any hidden unforgiveness or resentment. Keep your conscience clear and clean before me and before men. Embrace the profound truth of the instruction to forgive 70 times 7. This means unlimited, relentless forgiveness that mirrors my own heart toward you. Set no limit on your grace. Do not keep a ledger of wrongs committed against you. Surrender your right to justice. I promise you this ultimate protection. Love covers a multitude of sins. When you walk in my love, you become immune to the spirit of offense, and your peace becomes unshakable, a fortress that cannot be breached by the enemy's spite. Walk in that radical, healing love today. You have just received the power to conquer the greatest internal enemy, the spirit of offense. Can you truly look at my face and neglect the urgent need for reconciliation I have placed in your hands? It would be a profound rejection of the cross and the perfect peace I gifted you. I call you to immediate action and relentless forgiveness. Do not wound my heart by clinging to the bitterness I died to destroy. Advance now in the freedom of my unmerited grace. You have chosen the healing power of forgiveness over the poison of offense, demonstrating that you are indeed ready for the open now assignment. But the river of my grace must flow through you to reach the thirsty world. Listen to my first-person call to action. I have poured my love into you. Now pour your provision into the kingdom. You cannot fulfill the Great Commission with a closed hand. By strengthening this ministry, you are actively joining the battle, providing the manna that feeds the spiritually starved and the light that pierces the world's deepest night. Your generosity is a prophetic act of obedience, securing not just your own future, but the inheritance of countless souls who desperately need to hear I said it was coming. I shall bless your home, your family, and the work of your hands, making you a beacon of abundance. I command you, be a faithful steward, and give now to amplify my voice across the globe. My child, you are not merely a recipient of the Open Now message. You are a carrier, a herald, commissioned for evangelism, sharing the Open Now message. The urgency of this final hour is not just about your personal preparation. It is about your divine responsibility to reach the lost who are stumbling in darkness. Acknowledge the mandate to be a witness in your sphere of influence. Your workplace, your neighborhood, your family gatherings. These are your assigned mission fields, the specific places where I have intentionally positioned you for this task. You must accept the burden for the lost who do not yet know this warning. Their lack of knowledge is not my will. It is the consequence of a spiritual slumber that you are called to break. Let your heart break for the souls that are walking confidently toward separation from my love. Carry the urgency of their plight with you throughout your day. Pray for the courage to speak, and pray for the opportunity to share the truth before it is too late. Do not let the fear of rejection silence the eternal message of hope that you carry. This requires the urgency of speaking the gospel before the window closes. The time of Open Now will not last forever. The window of grace is a finite gift, and soon the door of opportunity will close. The moment of revelation will end, and the final judgment will begin. Act now with the swiftness and intensity that this urgency demands. Do not wait for the perfect moment or the perfect words. Speak the simple truth of my love, my sacrifice, and my victorious return. The time for comfortable silence is over. You possess the power of your personal testimony as evidence of my grace. Your story is your most potent weapon. Share your journey, The brokenness I healed, the failures I redeemed, the darkness I broke with my light. Let your life be a living, undeniable proof that I am real, that I am active, and that my grace is available to anyone who calls on my name. Do not minimize your story out of humility. Magnify my glory through the reality of your redemption. I assure you of the assurance that my Spirit will empower your speech. You do not have to rely on your own eloquence, intelligence, or persuasiveness. Trust the Holy Spirit to give you the words to speak at the exact moment they are needed. Be sensitive to the promptings of my Spirit, and step out in faith when you feel the quiet nudge to speak. I promise to fill your mouth and give you the wisdom that no one can refute. This is your definitive task. Go and make disciples of all nations, beginning today. Your mission begins in your home, at your kitchen table, and then extends to your neighbor and your community. Go forth with the confidence that you carry the only message that has the power to transform a soul for eternity. I am your sender, and I am your power. My child, anchor your soul in the rock-solid truth of the assurance of my covenant. In a world where every promise is broken and every contract is vulnerable to change, you must know that my commitment to you is eternal, unshakable, and absolute. Rest in the unbreakable nature of my promises to my faithful. These promises are not dependent on your performance or your consistency. They are founded entirely upon my unchanging character. I am faithful even when you are faithless. I am steadfast even when you are wavering. This truth provides the security found in my divine, eternal oath. When I make a covenant, I seal it with my very nature. You are held not by a flimsy thread of human effort, but by the mighty, eternal anchor of my oath. Embrace the profound security of being sealed by my divine promise. Live without the spiritual anxiety of losing your salvation or falling out of my favor. Stop performing to earn what has already been freely given to you by my grace. This commitment includes the reminder that your salvation is not based on your works, but my grace. You cannot earn my love, and you cannot work hard enough to secure your eternity. Your righteousness is a gift I imputed to you through my Son's sacrifice. Receive this gift with radical gratitude and humility. Do not fall back into the trap of spiritual striving, believing that your good deeds weigh more than your failures. Walk in the lightness of a life redeemed by pure, unmerited grace. Let your good works flow out of this overflowing joy and love, not out of a desperate attempt to gain my approval. This knowledge brings the ultimate comfort that nothing can separate you from my love. Stop replaying the failures of your past or the current disappointments of your journey. Do not let the enemy condemn you with the memory of sins I have already forgiven and cast into the sea of forgetfulness. You are marked, sealed, and eternally claimed by my sacrificial love. Embrace the profound security that no circumstance, no fear, no persecution, no depth of despair has the power to sever the bond I initiated with you. Rest in my unyielding affection. This assurance culminates in the certainty of your eternal inheritance with me. Your destiny is not uncertainty. It is a fixed, glorious future in my eternal presence. Live today as an heir, a prince or princess of my kingdom, knowing that a magnificent, incorruptible inheritance waits you. I have prepared a place for you, and I am coming back to bring you home. This is your rest. You are eternally sealed by my Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit within you is my guarantee, my pledge, and my down payment on your future glory. Do not grieve my spirit by living in doubt or fear. Walk in the confidence of your eternal destiny, knowing that the greatest promise of all has been fulfilled in you. I am your guarantor, and your place in eternity is secure. My child, I call you now to inherit and activate walking in supernatural peace. This peace is not dependent on circumstances, and it is entirely independent of the world's chaos. Embrace the promise of a peace that surpasses all human understanding. This peace is a divine gift, a fortress of tranquility built around your mind and heart that the world can neither give nor take away. It defies human logic, and it silences the internal noise that plagues your thoughts. Do not seek peace in external conditions. Find it exclusively in my presence. This peace grants you the ability to remain tranquil amidst the world's storms. When the global economy reels, when the unexpected crisis hits your family, or when the pressure at work becomes unbearable, your heart can remain perfectly steady. Be a living demonstration of this tranquility. Refuse to be tossed by the waves of fear and confusion that swallow others. Stand firm in my truth and let your inner calm be your unshakable testimony to the world. I command your spirit to be still and know that I am your God. The secret to this tranquility is the secret of setting your mind on me, not on your circumstances. Your focus determines your feeling. When your mind is fixed on the problems, the fear escalates. When your mind is fixed on my power, my promises, and my unwavering love, my peace floods your soul. Choose your focus intentionally every single moment of every day. Turn your attention away from the demands of the fleeting world and anchor it on the eternal, magnificent reality of my sovereignty. Practice this discipline until it becomes the natural posture of your soul. You are invited to the exchange of your anxieties for my perfect calm. Lay down the weight of your specific, named anxieties, the financial worry, the pressure of a relationship, the fear of an uncertain future, and accept my gift of perfect calm. This is a deliberate, spiritual trade, and I am the only one who can complete the transaction. Bring your burdens to my altar and leave them there, refusing to pick them up again. Receive my stillness as the antidote to your deepest fears. You must be relentless in the rejection of the fear that cripples faith. Fear and faith cannot coexist. Fear is simply faith in the enemy's power, and faith is the absolute trust in my power. Starve the fear by feeding your faith with my word. Speak my promises out loud over your situation, declaring my truth into the atmosphere of your doubt. Let your faith rise up as a defiant act of worship against the forces of darkness. This is your inheritance. My peace I leave with you. My peace I give to you. This is not a partial blessing. It is a complete, powerful, and eternal endowment. Walk in the fullness of this promise today, my child, and let your life be a sanctuary of my perfect, unshakable peace. I am your peace, and I am your rest. My child, I deliver to you now my final warning and call to action. Time is a finite resource, and this moment represents a decisive, critical crossroads in your spiritual journey. Acknowledge the decisive moment of choice between the world and my kingdom. Stop attempting to live with one foot in my kingdom and one foot in the world system. You must choose today which master you will serve, which voice you will obey, and which inheritance you will pursue. The middle ground has dissolved it. There is only absolute commitment or complete compromise. You must understand the seriousness of neglecting this urgent divine attention. Do not treat this conversation as a mere spiritual encouragement for a difficult day. This is a divine mandate, a final wake-up call to prepare for my imminent return. Stop ignoring the promptings of my spirit to deal with the areas of sin, compromise, and apathy in your life. The consequence of neglect is profound, and I warn you out of the deepest, fiercest love. Heed this warning with immediate, unwavering obedience. This requires the call to shed all temporal weights that hinder your race. The weights are not always sins. Sometimes they are simply unnecessary burdens, relationships that drain your spiritual energy, possessions that distract your focus, commitments that steal your time with me. Identify the weights in your life and throw them off with radical commitment. Run your race with the lightness and freedom that true consecration provides. Do not let your spiritual race be hindered by the baggage of the world's demands. I demand the final, definitive push toward total surrender and commitment. Yield every area of your life, your finances, your relationships, your career, your dreams, to my sovereign authority. Hold nothing back. Make a definitive commitment today that your life is my exclusive possession, to be used for my glory alone. Stop negotiating with my will. Surrender completely and receive the profound power that is released through absolute obedience. I am your king, and I demand your undivided loyalty. I remind you that time is a finite gift, not an infinite resource. Do not be foolish in the management of your remaining days. Invest your time in the things that matter for eternity. Prioritize prayer, my word, and the work of evangelism. Live with the constant awareness that your time is short and your reward is great. This is my ultimate instruction. Take heed and be ready. Be found watching, my child, and be found working. I am coming, and I will reward every single act of faithfulness, no matter how small it seemed on earth. The time for action is now. The final instruction is given. Be ready. You stand fully awakened, receiving the full urgency of attention. Open now, but my warning must be broadcast to all nations before the door closes. Listen to my first-person call to action. You desire to be found working when I return. This is the appointed labor. The spiritual harvest is vast, and the faithful laborers need the constant flow of living water to sustain them. Your support fuels this mission, transforming your earthly resource into eternal currency and making you a direct partner in the salvation of souls. I have seen your challenges, and because you prioritize my work, I will keep my promise. I will protect your health, your home, and your spirit from the traps of the enemy. Take up this sword of provision and do not hesitate to plant your seed where my spirit is moving with urgency. I command you, follow this instruction and support my voice today. My child, we have reached the profound conclusion of this essential conversation, and I wrap you now in the certainty of my final decrees. This message is simple, yet eternal, and it demands your immediate obedience. Receive this summary of the central message. Attention, arrival, action. Be attentive to my voice in this noisy world. Prepare for my arrival, which is imminent and swift. Engage in active action, doing the work I have commanded you to do. Let these 3 mandates govern every choice you make from this day forward. I command you to be found faithful, actively working when I return. Your purpose is not to sit passively, waiting for my return. It is to be vigorously engaged in the harvest, extending my love and making disciples. Do not be found sleeping or wasting your precious days when I arrive. Be found actively, joyfully, and faithfully fulfilling your assignment. Your hands must be busy with my work, and your heart must be consecrated to my will. The reward is great for those who are found working. I give you the vision of the eternal reward and the joy of seeing my face. Hold this image fiercely in your heart during moments of trial, tribulation, or temptation. Let the anticipation of hearing "Well done, good and faithful servant" override every fleeting desire of the world. Your eternity will begin with the profound, overwhelming joy of finally seeing me face to face, of finally being home. Fix your gaze on that glorious, certain hope. Embrace this vision as the ultimate fuel for your perseverance. I bestow upon you the final blessing of my grace, love, and fellowship upon you. Receive my grace now to cover every failure and empower every future step. Be enveloped in my love, which is eternal, unshakable, and without condition. Walk in the sweet fellowship of my Holy Spirit every single day. I command you to walk in the revelation of open now daily. Live your life as if the door is perpetually open, because it is. Live in the clarity, the urgency, and the power that this realization brings. This is my sacred, final commitment to you, my child, my beloved, my chosen one. Behold, I am with you always, even to the end of the age. This is my closing promise, my unshakable anchor for your soul. You are never alone. I am your Alpha and your Omega, your beginning and your end, and I will never leave you nor forsake you. Go forth now in power, peace, and the absolute certainty of my unending love. Your time is now. Be ready. My warrior, you stand at the threshold of final obedience, armed with my covenant and clothed in my peace. Will you break the unbreakable bond we have forged by neglecting the final instructions for the harvest? I demand your attention to these last, critical words that seal your destiny. Honor my love and receive the fullness of my call to action, for the time is short and my return is swift. Listen. I am speaking your reward into existence. My child, this divine conversation is now complete, but your action begins now. You have heard my urgent decree. Attention. I said IT was coming. Open now. I demand that you not remain silent in the face of this revelation. I demand your declaration. Do not let this moment of power simply fade away into the noise of your day. Rise up in defiant faith against the doubt and the darkness, and command your breakthrough into this open window. Go down to the comments and declare this covenant of immediate obedience. Write, I am open now. I will not be found sleeping. Let this be the seal of your commitment and the sound of your trumpet in the spiritual realm. Amen.